56 miles separate the two campuses of Roanoke College and Lynchburg College, and 5 meetings separate Lynchburg from their last men's lacrosse victory over the Maroons of Roanoke. It's a rematch of the last 2 ODAC championship games on a Saturday night here in Salem. Hello, everyone. I'm Nick DeSanctis alongside TJ Kemper from Donald J. Kerr Stadium on the campus of Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia, as number 13 Roanoke gets set to host number 6 Lynchburg. TJ, there is no love lost between these two teams, and last season saw the Maroons battle back in the regular season meeting. That set the tone for the rest of their season.
That's right, Nick. In that game, Roanoke was down 11-5 with 14 minutes left, but they never gave up. The Maroons tallied 9 goals in 9 minutes to take the lead and hold off the Hornets for the final 5 minutes of action in Lynchburg. Roanoke assistant coach Noah Gibby was a Hornet killer throughout his career. He scored 3 of the goals down the stretch, finished the game with 4. Nick, it was an exciting game, but Roanoke hopes they can get off to a better start against Lynchburg tonight.
These teams met last season in the ODAC championship game, with the Maroons emerging with a 12-10 victory en route to their 17th ODAC championship. Jeff Keating tallied 4 goals in the win, while Rich Lackland finished that game with 3. Roanoke is coming off a 16-4 win over Worcester on Wednesday night here at Kerr Stadium. Joey Coretti and Jeff Keating each finished with 4 goals, while Reed Mayberry added 3 of his own.
The Maroons played very well against Worcester, bouncing back from a disappointing loss to Dickinson on Sunday. At the faceoff X, Matt Satowski won 13 of 15 faceoffs. That's incredible, Nick, as the 3 Maroon goalies combined for 11 saves and 4 goals against.
Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot used all 3 of his goalies, Charlie Peace, Gil Long, and Mike Hardon, in Wednesday's win. As I met with him yesterday, as I do usually before every game day, I couldn't get anything out of him as to who was going to be his starter today. As of right now, it's still a mystery. All 3 goalies are out there warming up. We'll have that for you later on in our pregame show. But for now, we're going to step aside. TJ and I'll be back with tonight's Keys to the Game. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN in Virginia, 1240 AM.
Roanoke College. Timeless and true. Smart and solid, practical and professional, making discoveries about yesterday, creating visions for tomorrow, lifted by a winning college spirit, forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College, classic for tomorrow.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your Maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium in Salem as we take a look at tonight's keys to the game. Our first is one we've used quite a bit. We'll continue to use it because it is huge. It's face-offs.
Nick, it is a huge part of the game of lacrosse, and Coach Pilot said it himself that tonight they will be extremely important. The Maroons have won 53% as a team, while the Hornets are winning 51.5% of their draws. Lynchburg won just 9 of the 21 face-offs in Wednesday's win over McDaniel, and on the season, Matt Jernak has taken over half of the team's face-offs and won 60% of them. Jeff Schwartz has taken slightly less than half, but only won 48%. Slightly a similar spot with Roanoke, with Matt Satowski at 64% and Connor Dubois at 40%. But Satowski has become the ace at X for the Maroons and has taken 44 more face-offs.
The freshman having a great season for Coach Pilot and Roanoke. Our second key tonight, goaltending.
Lynchburg has an outstanding netminder in Frank Cook, who has led the team to their 6-1 mark this season. For the Maroons, Coach Pilot was not willing to reveal his starter or his plan for the goalies today. On Wednesday, Mike Harding got the start, played the first and third quarters, while Charles Peace played the second and most of the fourth quarter before giving way to Gil Long. The trio allowed 4 goals while making 14 saves. Goalies have one of the hardest, if not the hardest, job on the field. No matter who is in net for Maroons, it seems like they always come out strong.
They'll have to continue that trend tonight. Lynchburg, number 6 in the nation for a reason. They even beat Stevenson the other day, something not a lot of people thought they could do. They held that Stevenson offense to 3 goals. Stevenson, though they lost a lot of seniors last year, they are a different team. Some may say overrated. Tradition never graduates, and they have a great program up in Owings Mills. Our third and final key for the game tonight is going to be ground balls. For the most part, CJ, the team that wins the ground ball battle wins the game.
This is true, Nick, and whether it's a caused turnover, a face-off, or just a bad pass that puts the ball on the turf, Roanoke has to come up with it tonight. They won the 50-50 battles on Wednesday night and won the game. They lost the game on Sunday, where they also lost the 50-50 battles. While Dickinson is definitely a different caliber than Worcester, the idea is still there that when you win the ground balls, you win the game. Freshman Matt Satowski leads the team in ground balls, picking his mess up at face-off X with 38 GBs.
Taking a look at the series information between Roanoke and Lynchburg. The Maroons are 33-6 all-time against Lynchburg and hold a 5-1 advantage in ODAC tournament play. Lynchburg has won just 2 of the last 14 meetings. These teams have met every year since 1980, with Roanoke winning the first 20 meetings. The series has gone to overtime 3 times. The Maroons have claimed 2 of those contests. More on Lynchburg now. Senior Dylan Hoff leads the team in every major offensive category. Pennsylvania needed 14 goals and 10 assists for 24 points. He is one Roanoke probably going to look to put a short stick on in the midfield. Look for Ingold, possibly Jim McNeely. They might slide Littner or Doobie, the long stick midi, onto him as well. Hoff, though, does like to stay with that right hand. We'll see what Roanoke does on the defensive end to counter that. Pat Oram is second on the team in scoring with 12 tallies. And in goal, as TJ mentioned, Frank Cook started all 7 contests with 5.8 goals against and a 67% save percentage. Jernak and Schwartz shared the load the faceoff X, 51% of the draws. For a team that's 6-1, not a very high percent, but timing is obviously going to play a part in that. They were outdone at the faceoff X against McDaniel pretty badly. They won just 6 draws, so definitely something that Roanoke can look to exploit. So looking over our keys to the game again, faceoffs, goaltending, and ground balls. Your 3 keys to the game for tonight. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening face-off after this. Roanoke and Lynchburg coming up next.
Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem. Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com. Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem.
After Hobart had eliminated Roanoke from the NCAA tournament in 2 of the previous 3 seasons, Roanoke College finally got its chance for revenge and upended the hosting Panthers with a 1-point victory in the 1978 NCAA Division II Lacrosse Championship. In a game played before 4,200 fans at Hobart's Boswell Field, Roanoke jumped out to a 7-6 first quarter lead, but Hobart bounced back with 5 goals in the second period to take an 11-9 lead at halftime. In the second half, the Maroons' defense stifled the high-octane Hobart attack and outscored the Statesmen 5-2 in the second half. With the game knotted at 13, head coach Paul Griffin ran a trick play to set up the winning goal. In the title game, John Sullivan made 18 saves. Over 3 games in the tournament, he stopped 43 shots and was named the tournament's most valuable player. 5 different players were named to the All-American squad. Roanoke completed that season with a 12-2 overall record, with the lone losses coming at the hands of Division I powers North Carolina and Towson.
Mac and Bob's opened for business in 1980. Over the years, we've grown from 10 stools to a full-service restaurant that seats 330 people. Now we invite you to come try our new breakfast menu, featuring sweet potato pancakes, eggs Benedict, omelets made to order, stuffed French toast, homemade sausage and gravy biscuits, and much more. Open for breakfast Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m., Sunday brunch 10 a.m. till 2. See you for breakfast at Mac and Bob's in Salem.
Roanoke College. Timeless and true. Smart and solid. Practical and professional. Making discoveries about yesterday. Creating visions for tomorrow. Lifted by a winning college spirit. Forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow.
From Donald J. Kerr Stadium in Salem, Virginia, it's the Roanoke Maroons and the Lynchburg Hornets. TJ, let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders.
For Lynchburg, Frank Cook will get the start. The senior is 6-1 with a 5.8 goals against average and a 66.7 save percentage. Cook was named an honorable mention All-American last season after receiving first-team All-ODAC accolades. For the Maroons, Charles Peace gets back into the startup as a starter. The sophomore is 2-2 with a 10.88 goals against average and is 51.8% save percentage. We'll see if he plays the whole time if Coach brings in Mike Hardon off the bench.
The starting lineup tonight for Lynchburg: Jaliski, Ben Wright, Dylan Hoff, the big name to watch for Lynchburg. Matt Jernak with the start in the midfield along with Andrew Wilfong. Ben Syra on attack along with Pat Oram. Finishing out the defense, Joe Lombardo, John Gill. And as TJ mentioned, Frank Cook will be in goal for Lynchburg.
Tonight's starters for the Maroons will be Jeff Keating, Rich Lackland, and Joey Coretti for their attack. The starting midfield will be Connor Dubois, Kyle Smith, and Mike Hayden. On defense will be Paco, Jiri, and DeLong. And for our goalie will be Charles Peace.
Peace sits statistically not as good, in theory, against his opponent. Mike Hardon, the starter, last game, as we mentioned, a 6.96 goals against average, a 50% save percentage. The goals against for Charlie Peace up just under 11, saving 52% of his shots. Part of that could be a little bit of inflation. A game like Salisbury, where you give up a lot of goals and you don't play the whole game, that will certainly throw off your numbers. The teams are lined up. The goalies have traded handshakes as we get ready to go here at Kerr. The Maroons will be in the home whites, white tops, black shorts. They will go right to left. Lynchburg in the road blacks, black top, black shorts, white lettering with a red helmet. They will go left to right. Good crowd on hand already for the Maroons tonight. They're on a gorgeous Saturday. Dubois will be down for the opening faceoff. As Lynchburg able to pop it ahead, unable to come up with the ground ball is Matt Jernak. Swatted at, the ball has entered the restricted area. As Geary comes up with the ground ball, Roanoke controls the opening faceoff. Geary lost his footing, sends the ball towards the near corner. Paco comes up with the ground ball. He's checked, gets it for Peace behind his net. Roanoke now will try and clear it up the other way. Peace's pass high, but taken on the long stick by Geary. Geary approaching midfield, crosses over. As he moves down the right side, he has a long stick on his back. As Geary will retreat to the midfield, flip it for Connor Dubois, who steps over. Dubois checked that on the far side by Lisgate. Dubois down the alley. Roanoke controls. They have the first offensive possession of the contest. Hayden with it at the top. Roanoke's top midfield unit, Dubois, Smith, and Mike Hayden. On the second line, look for Parsons, Bracken, and Neislick. Hayden will carry in down around behind. Hayden with great speed, was a preseason honorable mention All-American candidate as an attackman. Comes to the far side, took the shot, and he sent that one wide. Be backed up by Kyle Smith. Roanoke will keep possession here early on. Smith, a big frame, the local product, has 2 goals in the year. He'll leave it behind the net. Jeff Keating will start things up for Roanoke as they'll work the offense. Coretti with it along the far side behind the net. Got a pick from Hayden as Coretti moves towards the top. Now rolls back down the alley. Gives it up for Mike Hayden. Tries to dodge the middle. Dives. Took the shot. He scores! No, they're going to wave it off. And a crease violation called against Hayden. As Hayden left his feet, landed in the crease. They will hit you with a crease violation on that. Lynchburg will start the clear.
That was a crazy diving or attempted goal. Looks like just like Mikey Powell playing for Syracuse back in the day.
It was pretty if it would have counted. As John Gill, the long stick across midfield along the far side. And coming over to apply some pressure. Gill works towards the middle, tried to flip it, lost it. As Doobie stood his man up, hacking after it. Ingold back after the ball as well. Lynchburg controls. Will stand in the left wing alley for Ben Sauer. Sauer left the middle. Shot safe. Made by Peace down low. As absolutely buried on the play was Ruddenhouse trying to walk in close. On the clear. Roanoke gets it for Doobie. Now for Jimmy McNeely up the middle. Look out. Roanoke has a 4-on-3. McNeely, he's in over the restraining line. The near side Keating steps in. Fires. We send it just high and wide.
That was a great save by Charles Peace. And I think this game, Coach Pilot, he was a little unsure of which goalie to play. And certainly the different teams that the goalies play against will affect the statistics, but I think this game today will definitely show if Charles Peace reflects his statistics or if he's definitely better than what is on paper.
As Peace came in late in the Lynchburg regular season contest last year, that's when he took over the starting role. As here's Neislick, who fakes the pass, goal line extended. Looks things over, gives it up for Rich Lackland in the near wing. Lackland back for Neislick behind the net. He's back there with Parsons as the Maroons invert. Coretti and Keating are up at the top. As a pass for Parsons hits the start, comes up the ground ball, rolls back towards the middle side of the net, took this shot, and a great save made down low by Frank Cook. Cook will look to start the clear as he leaves it along the left side. Walking ahead is John Lombardo. Lombardo calling out orders, trying to find someone. Gives it up along the near side as he went all the way across the field for Liskey. Liskey steps aside, now has good speed as he cuts inside on Bracken. Liskey to the front of the net with a shot, and he bounced that one up high. Lynchburg will retain possession here. We're early in the first quarter. 12-13 to go. Still no score. Both teams have been trading chances here early on as Pat Oram walking up the outside. Oram gives it out towards the top. Lynchburg sends it to the point. As Matt Manzo steps in. Bumped out by Parsons. Manzo from a sharp angle. This is a pass down around behind. Went off the stick of Sauer. He keeps it in bounds. Sauer punched at by DeLong. As he sends it up the left side. Now looks out to the top. The freshman Galvin drives on the right side, tries to feed the crease pass out of the reach down low of Pat Oram and out behind the net. Possession will go back to Roanoke. Peace to start the clear. Comes the near side for Paco. Paco for Geary up the wing. He looks. He has Bracken Dubois in the middle. Goes to Bracken. Bracken fakes to Dubois. Takes it. Able to just shrug around to check as he steps into the box. Comes down the near wing for Keating. Back for Drew Bracken. Bracken to the top for Connor Dubois. As Bracken will head off in exchange for Mike Hayden as the Maroons will get the top midfield unit out. Dubois gives it up for Kyle Smith at the top. Schultz towards the box where he hands it off for Hayden. Hayden in the right wing alley. He'll walk all the way down towards the corner. 45 in white. A good crossover move. Comes up, going extended. Angle shot and a save made up high. It looked like by Cook. Off his stick and out of bounds behind the net. Backed up by Kyle Smith. The Maroons will continue to invert. They seem to like the matchup of the middies down low. We're now on a 1-4-1. As Smith brings it in behind the net, cuts towards the near side. Now tries to back his man down, lost it. Cook out of the net. Gets a good hack in on Smith, who struggles. Now comes up with the ground ball as he's checked. Smith gives it up for Connor Dubois on the near bottom corner of the box. Dubois still sitting with it. He's covered by Van Kuren. Dubois comes to the near side. Tried to feed it for Coretti in front. Pass was red tipped and taken away by Lynchburg. Lombardo floats the pass ahead. was unable to reach anybody as Geary goes after the ground ball with Kyle Smith, who stands his man up. Geary, nifty stick skills, able to step around his man as he's checked. Whips a pass ahead for DeLong, who's hacked it as well. He gets it for Dubois. Dubois turns back, absorbs the check, now is buried from behind. That'll be a penalty. A flag comes in as Dubois took a shoulder straight to the back from Liskey. Roanoke will have the first man-up opportunity of the contest. We're scoreless, 10-12 to go. Here in the first quarter, it will be a push with possession, technical 30-second penalty assessed to the Hornets. TG, you haven't had much of a chance to even talk in this one. We've been going end to end.
It has been crazy. Roanoke has had a couple mistakes, but you see they keep just getting the ball back. They get these ground balls, which is one of the keys to the game, remind you, and Roanoke still has the ball. Dominating on offense. I think and they've been slowing it down a lot, too. The one fast break offense that they had where they didn't end up scoring was the only time they were actually rushed on offense. They've been doing a good job at slowing it down, keeping it under control, communicating, and moving their feet.
Chad Smith is out on the man-up. Roanoke in a 2-2-2 as Hayden feeds it behind the net for Keating as the Maroons offense will rotate. This is not the normal man-up set for Roanoke as they'll flip the ball behind the play. Keating still with it. Feeds the near side. Mayberry with a shot. He scores! Mayberry from the near side gets his 7th goal of the season. The man-up tally makes it 1-0 Roanoke. 9:52 to go in the first quarter.
Good view up here for that goal right there, Nick. And the ball was like literally an inch under Frank Cook's stick.
It was close. We'll go back and take a look at the replay. Hayden comes around behind. We see Roanoke run this play a lot of times at the top. This time working it behind the net. Keating still with it. Mayberry's defender had his back turned. And Roanoke gets the 1-0 tally. Satoski in on the second faceoff of the game. Lynchburg controls it. As Jernak will turn, he's going to dish it all the way back to his defense. Further along for Frank Cook behind the net as the Hornets will try and clear it out from their own end. John Gill sends it into the middle. It's taken there by Wilfong, who dishes it off to the left side. As Ben Wright goes to Cook in the middle. Back to the near side for John Gill. Gill pressured by Keating. He's able to step around him and give a pass up ahead. Mitty has it. It's Wilfong. Wilfong checked out by Doobie. Great over-the-head check thrown by the long stick Mitty Doobie. As Roanoke comes up with a ground ball racing back to the way, it's Worsina. Worsina with great speed as he's in over the line. Turns to avoid a check. Comes to Keating. Steps in and fires. That one deflected up high.
Roanoke playing a great, really tight ride right there, Nick, and it ended up paying off for them. You do move your feet a lot. It does tire out the players, but you get the situation when everyone's covered besides the person farthest away from the person with the ball. So you get a lot of one-on-ones. There's no easy clears, and it paid off for Roanoke.
As at the top, Roanoke will get it for Drew Bracken. Bracken out with Parsons and Neislick. Bracken walks down the near side, clears goal line extended, now turns on the Jets as he races behind the net. Bracken comes at the far side, wraparound try, and he sent it wide. Bracken dumped on the play. It's backed up by Neislick. Roanoke will retain possession, 8:46 to go. Here in the first quarter, the Maroons a 1-0 lead on Reed Mayberry's 7th goal of the season. Neislick to start with it. Talking to Coach Pilot after the last game, they weren't really sure what they could do with Neislick until the last game as he had some stitches. Everything appears to be okay. Neislick's brother, a former men's lacrosse player at the University of Virginia. As it's sent down behind the net, Jeff Keating with it as he and Creddy will trade places. Keating moves up towards the far side, sends it out for Neislick, steps in, fires, and Cook able to make the save on the bounce shot. Cook read that one all the way. Lombardo up with the ground ball in the far alley, sends it behind the net for Frank Cook. Cook to the near side for Ben Wright. Wright will go pole to pole, launch it all the way back across for Lombardo. Lombardo looked up the line, found nothing. He'll go pole to pole again to the near side. Wright with it again. Past his own restraining line coming up towards midfield. Doobie's going to come over after him. Long stick on long stick. Doobie can't get there in time as he's able to dish a pass off. Walking down the near alley is Matt Manzo. Manzo, the senior midi, goes behind the net, covered by Spencer Parsons. Parsons gives it up for Ben Sauer. Sauer checked out by DeLong as he moves in the far alley. Sends it out towards the top. Pass taken by Curran. Curran cuts it on the right side. Hands free with a shot and a save made by Mike Hardon, who's in the game.
Right into the stick of Peace. Almost looked like he knew it was coming.
Well, Hardon's in instead of Peace. I'm not sure when that switch was made. As Bracken comes down the right side. Bracken gives it up for Smith. Out to the top now for Hayden as the top midi unit out for Roanoke. As last game, Coach Pilot alternated quarters. Last year we saw him alternate halves. Now we're alternating minutes. As Hayden will bring it all the way down around behind. From the far corner, covered by Manzo. Hayden Stutter step, goes high, side angle shot. And it looked like it may have gone off the stick of Cook. Out of bounds, backed up by the Maroons. Roanoke will keep possession. So that's just something else to pay attention to. Is the goaltending situation. See if we can sense a pattern from Pilot.
I think he's just trying to feel out how these goalies are going to do against Lynchburg tonight. You know, a couple minutes into the game, you can't really tell. I mean, I'm not really sure why he's switching it so early. There's probably a reason for it. You can ask him in the postgame.
As Keating skips it across for Dubois. Lowers the shoulder, tries to cut in, looked to feed in front, found nothing. Dubois will pull up behind the net. Now drives the near side, tries to draw the slide, still with it, took a shot and he sent it wide. It'll be backed up, the official says, by Coretti. And possession will stay with Roanoke.
Seeing a lot of no-angle shots by Roanoke today.
A lot of their shots have come from angle, but they also got a goal that way, as Reed Mayberry's shot was from the outside. As Coretti gets it in for Smith, he's going to walk down the right side. Smith turns on the speed, lowers the shoulder. Smith looks like he has a couple pounds on his defender, Kieran. Behind the net now, it's Mike Hayden. Menza's going to slide back onto Hayden. Hayden with great speed, he's shifty. Behind the net comes up the far side, turnaround shot right into the stick of Cook. Might be the easiest save Cook has all day. Hayden obviously not trying to put it in the stick. That's just where it ended up. As off the clear, Lynchburg whips it in the middle for Manzo. Manzo tries to cross over on Keating. Has a step on him. Keating unable to connect on a wrap check as Manzo over midfield. His team trails by 1. Under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. As Manzo feeds it behind the net. Lynchburg sends it towards the far side in the midst of a midfield change. As Sauer comes up in the far alley. Gets it out for his reinforcement in the midfield is Wolfong, he gets a touch. In the middle it goes now for Rodenhouse. Rodenhouse covered by Smith as he moves down the right side. This looks like Lynchburg is trying to match something similar to what Roanoke's trying to do on their offensive end. As Rodenhouse comes up the near side, he's hacked at by Smith, plays it off to X. From the far side, Oram. Smith slides on Alpaca, switches. Oram with an angle shot, he sent it wide of the net. Possession will stay with Lynchburg.
Almost the exact type of shots that Roanoke's been having all day. Just a simple cut from X. If you're not open, you pass it back, another cut, and the no-angle shot. I'm not sure why they're not using their middies more.
Looks like
on
they're
offense.
Mainly trying to dodge from X and get the angle shot. Everybody in the front, up high, seems to be locked up. We'll chat about it a little more. We'll take a look at the replays when we come back. Timeout on the field taken by Coach Pilot and Roanoke. We'll step aside. 5:11 to go in the first quarter. It's 1-0 Roanoke.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. TJ, we talked just before we stepped aside about the offense. Back in high school, I played defense. You played attack. This could turn to something a little interesting. You're dodging from X. When you can get past me, goal line extended, and you turn towards the net, what's going through your head?
I mean, even when you beat your man, you know that slide's coming and you're going to get hit. So you just have to focus in on that goal and get off a good shot. I mean, they've been taking a lot of sidearm shots, and my coach would have killed me for ever thinking about it.
Well, the other thing is that's high school. That
is high school. But so it was always just a bounce shot to the far corner or a quick fake inside. You have to make the shot and then expect the hit every time.
We haven't seen the passes, though. Do you think the slides are coming quick and we're not noticing it, or are the slides coming late and these guys are just pulling the trigger early?
The slides have been coming. You saw, I think it was Bracken a couple of minutes ago get hit after one of his moves where he got the slide and he got railed.
We'll see what happens here if either team decides to try and change things up. Hard on still in net for the Maroons out of the timeout. Operating on the far side is Dylan Hoff. Hoff will go out to the point, comes to the near side now for Wilfong. Wilfong drives in. Roanoke almost looks like they're in a zone defense at the moment. That's on the far side, fed back to the top for Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse towards the near side. Lowering his shoulders, Wilfong, he gets nowhere. It's fed out to the top. As Rittenhouse looks things over, sends it back down the left side for Max Vumard. Vumard, the skip pass in the middle. Open shot, scores. As it looks like Roanoke wants a call for a moving pick. They're not going to get it. DeLong putting his case with the official. Wilfong on the board. Ties the score at 1. As Pilot as well. Looking at the official for a call. I didn't see anything. As we get the replay queued up, we can go back and take a look. As that ties the score at 1, 4:26 to go. Just looking at the replay. Vimard with it on the outside, skips it in the middle. I'm still not seeing anything on the replay that really warrants a call. Yeah, I'm not sure. TJ, I didn't see anything. Did you? I don't know what Pilot and the players saw that we didn't.
There was it was almost a moving pick. It didn't look like a moving pick to me either, but you got to be upset when you get scored on, nevertheless.
As Satoski came up with the face-off wind, lost it as he was checked in over the restraining line. Frank Cook now sends it up the left side for Ben Wright. A long stick goes into the middle for Matt Jernak. Jernak from midfield sends it on from the near side. It's taken by Gill, who has some trouble with the ball from the turf. Doobie comes up with it. Doobie looks, he has Lack on the middle with 3 men around him. He can't come up with it. Keating does. Keating turns, now steps in the box along the right side.
Roanoke's ride has been so effective that in the last 4 rides they've had, when Lynchburg has been trying to clear the ball, they've either gotten the ball or they had to have a player beat his man in a very difficult way. It's been affecting Lynchburg.
Drew Bracken carries down the right wing. He'll move down around behind. Roanoke has in for it again. I'll be interested to see if they can get some slides and find Keating or Lackland outside. He comes for Nislek with a shot, and he sent it wide of the net. So that's almost what they were trying to do. As Manzo was on Nislek, he looked like he took a step towards Bracken and then stopped, and that drew the feed. As it goes behind the net now for Bracken, who will get things set up. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter as Bracken comes up the far side. Lost his footing as he turns back. Bracken, the crossover moves, now rolls back up high. Tried to feed it for Parsons off the tip of his stick. Lynchburg's able to poke this one ahead. It's a foot race for it at midfield. Parsons unable to get there. DeLong comes up with the ground ball. DeLong over midfield, feeds it for Jeff Keating along the near side. Keating for Drew Bracken behind the play. Bracken able to protect his stick. The long stick looming. That was Ben Wright. Bracken gets a touch, goes for Nislek at the top. Bracken, Nislek, and Parsons, the second midfield unit for the Maroons today. As Nislek comes down the near side, he and his defender both go down. Back to the feet, skip past to the top. Keating fakes the shot, sends it to the right side. As Parsons goes goal line extended for Drew Bracken. Coretti moves up, goal line extended. Now comes to provide a pick as Bracken comes towards the near side, draws the switch. Lynchburg switches back as Bracken has the ball knocked free along the far side. Bracken after it. Lynchburg has it. They give it for Frank Cook, who's out of his net behind the crease. Cook comes up the near side. Joe Lombardo wanted to send a pass to the middle. That went in and out of the cross of Manzo. Roanoke again after it. Manzo poked it ahead. Parsons overran the ground ball. Manzo able to come up with it. He's checked. Ball free on the turf again. Parsons up after it. He's checked. Lost it. Manzo in traffic. Bumped that hard. Just tried to shovel it for his midi. He was able to take it. Skip pass goes all the way across the field. Unable to handle that was Ben Sauer. Sauer chasing it down towards the far line. The official says he's able to keep it in. As that clear turned into nothing but a mess for Lynchburg.
The ball has spent an exceptional amount of time on the ground as we're just in transition constantly.
2:40 to go in the first. Score tied at 1 as Manzo gives it up at the top. Rodenhouse looking things over, covered by Spencer Parsons as he moves down the left side. Rodenhouse moving down around behind the net. Rodenhouse comes to the near side, goal line extended, fit out in front, quick stick try, and a great save made by Hardon. He denied Wilfong in close, who already has 1 goal today. Roanoke comes up with a loose ball in the far side in traffic. They just launch it all the way down the field. Long stick comes up for it. It's Joe Gill. As Gill has it up the left side, feeds it in the middle for Wilfong, who moves ahead. Wilfong sends it down the left side. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. Ingold riding his man hard into the corner. As Lynchburg steps into the box, it's Todd Galvin. Galvin behind the net, covered by the short stick, Ingold. 1:40 to go. Mayberry and Wilfong, the goal scorers for the first 14 minutes of this one. As Paco tries to drive his man to the outside, DeLong comes in the slide. Somehow able to hold on the possession was over. An outside shot sent wide off of Hardon and out of bounds behind the net.
Before the game, Nick, I was wondering if you're going to see the Roanoke that played Dickinson or the Roanoke that played Worcester. And today it looks like this is the Roanoke that played Worcester. The smooth team, they're on the same ball, in control. Lots of ground balls and lots of shots on goals. I like what I see from Roanoke today.
Roanoke has won most of the 50-50 battles so far. As that pass comes all the way through the middle out towards midfield, Wilfong will pick it up. 1:15 to go in the first. As Rodenhouse walks down the right side, he's covered by Drew Bracken.
And Roanoke is going to need to play like they did against Worcester if they're going to win their 6th straight meeting over Lynchburg Hornets.
As Lynchburg feeds it behind the net, Elrum comes up the far side with a shot save made by Hardon. But a flag comes in as a Hornet was buried on the play. It looks like it's going to be against Doobie. Doobie pleading his case to the official in that close. Sometimes you have to take the penalty to prevent a goal. And it looked like Doobie had that mindset. He'll go 30 seconds for a push with possession.
That's true, Nick. As a defender, your job is to hit the guy that's going to take the shot.
Especially that close.
It is about saving the goal, but it's also about intimidation. You don't want him to take that shot again.
57.5 seconds up on the clock. So the Roanoke man down unit comes out. Roanoke has Jimmy McNeely on Max Vumard, trying to take him out of the play. The Maroon long sticks will work a diamond in front. Try and force it as 5-on-4. Roanoke will be somewhat aggressive as it's fed out to the top. Down the left side for Max Vumard. As Vumard feeds it behind the net. Just 7 seconds left on the man up. Vumard got free at the top, tried to feed it towards the near side. High pass was taken. They feed the crease. Angle shot and a save made by Hardon. As now we have a whistle and a moving pit called against Lynchburg coming up with the ground ball. The Maroons have killed off the first penalty against them.
Fantastic, and Hardon has been playing really well. I think Pollitt made a good decision of putting him in.
Dubois up the right side. Feeds it to the box for Mike Hayden. Hayden for Jimmy McNeely ahead. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. McNeely dodges. Feeds it in front for Coretti. He scores! Joey Coretti! 2-1 Roanoke. Coretti getting his 11th tally of the year. Roanoke operating in transition. They take the lead. 12.4 seconds to go in the first quarter.
A quick goal right after a man down. They're definitely setting the tempo here, Nick.
Setting the tempo, really adding to the intensity. As McNeely coming down, thought maybe they'd want to be patient with still 10 seconds. Coretti found himself all alone in front. A quick catch, turn, and shoot. 11th goal of the year for the senior out of Michigan. Ingold's going to come in now on the faceoff for Roanoke. Ingold hasn't taken a faceoff yet this year. But he just tried to stand his man up as Janik comes up with it. 6 seconds to go. Janik into the box, feeds it towards the top. That pass goes all the way through, out into the Roanoke bench. Out of bounds with 0.8 seconds left on the clock. Smith will start with it for nothing more than a ceremonial whistle. Coretti had 4 goals last game on 10 shots. Coach Pilot had said, and we talked to him a few games ago, after Colin McKenzie got the start on attack, he was looking for someone that could work with the 2 All-Americans he has in Rich Lackland and Jeff Keating. As the whistle blows, the horn sounds, and that'll do it for the first 15 minutes of play in Salem. It looks like, TJ, Roanoke has found their guy in Coretti, as he had 4 goals last game, got his 11th there.
He has been playing very well. As we saw, he got 4 goals in the last game.
10 shots.
10 shots.
He's had the chances.
It is 40%, and definitely helped him to win against Worcester.
Absolutely. Roanoke up 2-1 the first 15 minutes. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem. Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com. Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium in Salem. Nick DeSanctis and TJ Kemper with you to take in number 6 Lynchburg and number 13 Roanoke. Sachowski will go down for the face-off along with Jernak to start our second 15-minute set. Roanoke leading 2-1, out shooting Lynchburg 14-8. They're tied at 6, though, each with 6 shots on goal. Lynchburg has been hitting the target more accurately. As the faceoff kick towards the near side, Lynchburg comes up with it. Doobie, a couple hard checks on his man, knocked the ball free out of bounds. The official says it went off the foot of Doobie. We had a pretty good view of that, and I'm not sure it went off the foot of Doobie. Either way, Roanoke will get a horn to bring out their defensive midfield. Wilfong will start with from the near side. He's going to have to dump it back to a long stick quickly as Roanoke has him trapped. As he drops it off for Ben Wright in his own restraining line. Goes to Frank Cook in the middle. Cook feeds to the far side. Lynchburg trying to start the clear. They had some trouble against this Roanoke ride earlier on.
The Roanoke ride has been effective. Let's see if they can be successful here.
Lynchburg failed on 2 clears in the first 15 minutes out of the 7 they attempted. As the Hornets race down the far side, Ingold quickly back on his man is Rodenhouse. Rodenhouse will feed it out to the top. Defensive midfield for Roanoke is Worsina, Ingold, and Doobie. As Oram operates, sends it out towards the top. Lynchburg working the ball around the perimeter. From the near side, Thompson tries to drive in. Or rather, Vimard. Vimard at the top, bumped at. As Doobie switches on. Vimard back to the near side for Wilfong. Cuts in, lefty shot, and he sent that one wide of the net.
Nick, these two teams have faced off in the past 2 ODAC championship games, with Roanoke winning both of them. You got to think that that's why there are a lot of hard feelings with these 2 teams, and that's why the intensity is so high today.
Lynchburg's senior class has never beaten Roanoke. It's an outside shot and a great chest save made by Hardon. Put his body in front of it on Wilcong, bidding for his second of the day. Coach Pilot mentioned it and said he didn't tell his team, but he said that his captains and his seniors all knew. As Geary's pass out of the reach, he'll come up with a ground ball for his own off pass. Geary up the near side, throws a fake, now races in. Geary in over the restraining line. Geary with a shot, he scores! Braden Geary! Oh, Canada, oh, Canada. Geary makes it 3-1, 13-16 to go in the second quarter. Let's go back and take a look at this one on the replay. Geary had Hayden at the box. He could have flipped it, elected to take it in himself, and just beat his man. Geary came in as a short stick, was converted to long stick after a great season as a D-midi. He missed most of last season, only played in 3 games in 2011 due to an injury. You can see him in the knee brace. Geary getting his first goal of the season, his first since his freshman campaign. He puts Roanoke back up 2.
It's an impressive shot, especially he has a defensive long stick, and he's being checked by 2 Hornet defenders.
Still able to get the shot away and get it past Cook. Geary hailing from Canada. One of 2 Roanoke starters from north of the border as the Maroons able to force a turnover. Ground ball in the far alley taken by Jeff Keating. He'll race into the box. Keating has the trailers, Jimmy McNeely. McNeely throws a move in on his right hand. Angle shot. He bounced it just high and wide. They'll be backed up on the play by Rich Lackland. As a diving Hornet took out Lackland. He wants a penalty. He's not going to get it. Possession will stay with Roanoke.
A lot of these wide angle bounce shots to the top corner, Nick. I'm not sure if that's aimed at Frank Cook or if this is a different type of offense where it requires cutting to the sides for Roanoke.
We've seen the Maroons in the past. I mean, I've been here. This is my 4th season watching this team play, watching Coach Pilot's system. They like to feed the crease. They've always had guys they can operate in close, like Matt Quinton, now Rich Lackland, even Joey Coretti does great things in front of the net. Smith dodges in, looks to feed. Had to try and find Keating cutting in. Smith takes a stick up high, dishes it behind the net for Coretti. Now outside is Jeff Keating. Keating tries to cut in as he lost the ball. Pass taken by Lynchburg. Delayed call coming up. Flags down. There'll be a slashing penalty against either Keating or Laughlin. As Liskey will send it down around behind the net. Delayed call coming up against the Maroons. Lynchburg has to keep it in. As the Hornets sitting with it behind the net, making a midi change. Getting the right group out. As Oram comes up the far side, he's tied up and dropped. Lost the ball. It'll be touched up by Paco. The official says no. Play continues. At the top, Manzo dodges all the way in, then he lost it. DeLong takes it. Smith takes liberties with his man as the 2 continue to trade blows. Now a flag comes in with the sticks up high.
A lot of penalty flags being thrown today, Nick.
I saw it last game as well. As the first call is going to be a slashing call against Keating. And there's an illegal body check. Both non-releasable calls against the Maroons and against Lynchburg. Thought the official had pointed both ways. Only Maroons in the penalty box. Roanoke down 2 men.
Roanoke will be down 2 men, but their defense is playing really well on man-down defense. When you saw they held off a down 3 men against Booster.
As the penalty against Smith is a 1-minute illegal body check. 1 minute full time, meaning he made contact with the head. Roanoke a big kill here. Lynchburg's man-up offense operating at 33%. A shot in close. It sent wide of the net. Peace looked like he may have gotten a piece of it. Another note for you. Peace was back in net for the Maroons. Roanoke's penalty kill sitting at 69. Maroons up 3-1. Geary's goal the latest. 11:31 to go. Here in the second. Lynchburg sends it down around behind the net. As the Hornets kick it towards the far side, now out to the top. Rotated for Vumar to the near side. Vumar, the skip pass, stripped and taken away. As Geary came up with it, Geary tied up, lost his stick. As Lynchburg feeds it goalie, send it back down around behind the net. They'll continue to work. Skip pass out towards the far side. Now it's fed to the crease. They score. In close, it's Pat Oram who gets his first tally of the day. Just when it looked like Roanoke had Lynchburg locked up, Oram just slipped in from the outside. Faked low, went high on Charlie Peace. That'll cut the score to 3-2. 11:05 to go in the second.
The Maroons were doing a decent job on that man-down defense right there, but the Hornets were passing the ball around the perimeter. When you do that, you're messing up the man-down defense. It's all about the slides, and when you just pass it around, you will eventually get a mishap in the Roanoke Maroons defense and a wide-open shot like you saw there.
Well, it's hard, too, because the defense is going to rotate. You're going to make sure that someone goes to the ball, and if you can move the ball quick, which you can move the ball a lot quicker than you can move your feet, when Lynchburg works it around,
well, exactly. That is the theory, that the ball will move faster than feet, so if you pass around fast enough, you will mess up the defense.
As Dubois unable to come up with a faceoff, Smith's penalty is full-time, so Keating's penalty does release. Roanoke down now only 1 man, as the Maroons unable to come up with the faceoff. A whistle and a timeout on the field taken by Lynchburg. We'll step aside here in Salem. Roanoke leading the Hornets 3-2. A man down for another minute. 5 to go in the second quarter. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN in Virginia, 1240 a.m.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium in Salem. 10:55 to go in the second quarter. Roanoke up 3-2. As we're still kind of trying to sort out the penalties. It looked like Keating was still in the box, but the Maroons had 5 out on the defensive end. We'll see as the teams break the huddle. Roanoke out shooting Lynchburg 16-12.
Well, one of them may have been an unreleasable, Nick, to keep him in the box.
The penalty to Smith, I did see the official signal. It was 1 minute full time for an illegal body check, which makes me think that it was in close. Smith ended up catching him up high. Smith, a big guy. That's bound to happen. As Roanoke does have 5 back on the defensive end, so Keating's penalty has released.
This is going to be a big stop here if Roanoke can hold them.
I think we got that backwards. Smith's penalty release. Keating has the 1 minute non-releasable. So Keating on a knee in the penalty box. So Lynchburg man-up operates. They've gotten 1 goal so far. Time winding down the penalty as Lynchburg feeds it all the way out to the top. Unable to handle the pass. DeLong digging for the loose ball. The Hornets come up with it. Penalty has released. It's fed down in front. They score. Lynchburg gets a goal right at the end of their man-up. It had just released. Hayden was entering the play.
Lynchburg almost sticking it to the Maroons there as they pull off the same play that Roanoke runs and eventually scored with it.
Didn't have a chance to see the goal scorer. I believe it was 21 chased loads. And it was. 10:37 to go in the second. Score tied at 3. It is an even strength goal. Penalties have expired. Back to even strength. As Satoski comes up with a face-off win, he's able to flip it ahead. Roanoke steps in the box, sent for Keating on the far side, pass out of his reach. He had to really reach to hoist it back in, unable to get a shot away. As Racino with it at the top, All-American attackman used as a D-midi now by the Maroons. Coach Pilot really likes what he sees from the freshman as he gave it up for Bracken, who moves down the left side. Second midfield unit out for the Maroons with Bracken, Parsons, and Brendan Neislick. Parsons down, or rather, Bracken down or behind. Turnaround shot. Cook got a piece of it. Bracken back with the rebound in front with a shot, and he sent it just high. As he came out of nowhere with that one. Off the save by Cook, the rebound laid right in the slot.
Impressive that he picked up his rebound right in all that traffic, too. I'm surprised that none of the Hornets slid to him for that second shot.
As Neislick pressured as he moves in the far alley. Lays a pass off behind the net. Parsons tries to take his man. Wraparound try. That one went off the helmet of Frank Cook. As Cook calls for the fair catch, makes it in his crease. Sends a pass away. Trying to come on the big hit there was Keating. Just able to shrug away was Gill. As now Parsons unable to connect on the hit, but his man goes down. Ball still free. Laughlin after it. Nice pickup as he has it. Took a man on his back. Ball sits behind him. Nobody knows where it is. Now Parsons up with the ground ball. Roanoke able to retain possession. Parsons hacked out, trying to get his hands free. Still can't. No flag comes in for a hold. As Parsons gets it free to Drew Bracken at the top. Bracken gives it for Neislick along the backside. Neislick steps in, crosses over the middle, steps in, tried to fire a shot. He got tripped up as he let it go. It was sent wide. Frank Cook gets out of his crease quicker than Coretti can get back. Possession back to Lynchburg. 9:18 to go in the second. Score tied at 3. Lynchburg will start the clear from the near side. It's Frank Cook with it on this side of the crease. Goes all the way across. On the right side for Lombardo. Lombardo skips as he comes pole to pole for John Gill. Gill across his restraining line, flips it ahead, taken by the long stick midi, Liskey. Liskey gives it up as Lynchburg will make a change, get their midfield unit out. As Sauer tried to dodge in from the near side, Bracken came on a quick slide, forced him away. DeLong checking at him behind the net. As Lynchburg now works it up the far wing. Rodenhouse with it, goes to the top for Matt Manzo. Manzo covered by Doobie, steps in the box. On his left hand, rolls back to the right. Sends it out towards the top, pass out of the reach of Galvin. He's able to get it right back. Galvin still a little on the far side, covered by Drew Bracken. Galvin stutters, rolls back on Bracken, who's with him stride for stride. Feeds it down around behind the net. Ben Sauer comes up the near side. Sauer feeds it out to the top for Manzo. Manzo now down the right wing. Again, trying to roll is Galvin. Galvin hacked at by Bracken. Angle shot, and Peace may have gotten a piece of it as he sent it wide. DeLong racing after it. Possession will stay with Lynchburg.
Hornets definitely slowing down their offense, as you saw a long offensive possession right there, which is mostly just passing around the perimeter, looking for opportunities and eventually a good shot on goal.
They kept trying to get it down the far side. Galvin kept trying to pull the same move on Bracken, who just didn't fall for it.
Well, again, Roanoke's playing very far out on defense, not letting the Hornets getting any free space.
As Lynchburg sends it down the right side for Galvin, Jimmy McNeely in for Bracken. He's on him. McNeely, Ingold, and Doobie. The defensive midfield out for the Maroons. As the Hornets play it to X, now whip it up the far side. Lynchburg unable to find any type of shooting lane for Dylan Hoff. Hoff covered by McNeely. DeLong in the area as well. As DeLong comes over, the Roanoke defense will rotate. It's comes up the near side for Galvin, now out to the top for Manzo. Manzo gets it back from Hoff. Now feeds it towards the near side. Galvin again tries the roll dodge. Can't get in on Ingold. Dishes it behind. Whipped up the far side. As Rodenhouse sends it to the top for Matt Manzo. Lynchburg just wearing down this Roanoke defense. As Rodenhouse rolls along the right side, dishes it down around behind the net. Stalling call on against Lynchburg. They have to keep it in. Behind the net, faking the pass is Oram. Oram hacked out by Eric DeLong. Feeds to the near side. Shot! Sent just wide of the net. Backed up by Lynchburg. They'll keep possession. Hornets have eaten plenty of time off this clock. Under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. 6:55 up on the scoreboard clock.
Such a long offensive possession and so slow that the rest were finally
keep it in.
Keep it in.
As much as they were making an attempt to go to the goal, they weren't. as Lynchburg almost got with a mental lapse from the Hornets. Had slipped out of the box at the top, calling for the pass. As they feed it down low, that'll be a slashing call as Geary came in and caught his man up high. Doobie gets the touch up on the ground ball and will get the call. I believe it's going to be Geary, 1 minute for slashing. Roanoke will go back to the man down. Lynchburg capitalized once on the man up. Their second goal came just after it expired. Hayden had released from the box but hadn't even entered the play yet.
Yeah, that's true. But this last penalty is it's a rough break for Roanoke, but it is a great opportunity for Lynchburg to take the lead for the first time in this game.
Score tied at 3. Past the midway point of the second quarter, 6:35 on the clock. Geary goes 60 seconds.
It'll be interesting to see here if Lynchburg will run the same offensive play they did last time, which is Roanoke's play, and if they can succeed with
As
Roanoke.
a shot from the point, they score. Lynchburg has the lead right back. It's Wilfong who gets his second. Stalling call was still on against the Hornets. They're able to capitalize. 4-3 Lynchburg. 6:28 to go in the second. As Wilfong gets his 11th tally. As I mentioned, his second tonight. Six and a half to play. Here in the second quarter, Lynchburg has their first lead of the game. Satowski will go down for the faceoff. As it's kicked free, Satowski with a man on his back. Play on call comes. Satowski bumped again. The official's seen enough. Makes the call. It's a loose ball push against Lynchburg. Hayden will start with it for the Maroons from the far side. Hayden gives it up in the middle for Dubois. He looks back, now sends it to the top for Mike Hayden. Hayden, Dubois, and Smith on the midfield. Starting attack still out for the Maroons. As Hayden comes in the near side, he gets a touch. Hayden looking things over. Now races in on his right hand with great speed. Hayden waits, now pulls up, feeds it in the middle. Shot! Nice save made by Cook on Dubois. Keating after it in the far side, having some trouble with it. Now comes up with the ground ball in the corner. Sends it out for Rich Lachlan, operating on the outside. Now to the top for Kyle Smith. Smith for Dubois at the point to the near side. Now Mike Hayden. Hayden with a great find on Dubois moments ago. An answer by Frank Cook. Smith feeds it down, goal extended. Now gets it back from Jeff Keating. Smith, the top corner of the box, races in. Pushes to the right hand with a shot, and he bounced that one up high. Roanoke really trying to get these bounce shots on Cook.
Yeah, Roanoke's trying to get a lot of shots on goal, and that's a very important statistic. You cannot score if you're not shooting, and you got to shoot against the Hornets, who have won their last 5 games. They are on fire. You have to set the tempo and not let them control the game like they did in the last offensive possession.
As Hayden turns behind, it was Wayne Gretzky who said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. An angle shot off the crossbar. It came off of Frank Cook and then hit iron behind him. Ball free behind the net, picked up by Lynchburg. As Elson ahead looked to start to clear the Hornets with numbers, the Maroons are quickly getting back as Kyle Smith in full retreat. John Gill coming ahead as he's buried from behind. That'll be a penalty. Roanoke can't afford to take silly penalties like that. Smith saw his back turned as now Doobie ties his man up. Got his stick out quick enough. Ball comes out of the box and we'll get the whistle.
Yeah, it's different when you're playing a team like Worcester where it doesn't matter if you get penalties because they can't score on man up. Roanoke's been playing very well on man down, but in this game, the Hornets have been successful.
Smith goes not even a 30-second for a push with possession. He goes for a minute for an illegal body check.
Was a big hit, Nick.
Absolutely. Roanoke, though, cannot afford penalties like that at this point in the game.
We got to remember these two teams don't like each other, so these types of penalties are bound to happen.
Well, one of our keys against Dickinson, we probably could use it tonight too, was just energy and emotion. You have to hit that sweet spot where you have the energy, you have the passion, but you're not going over the top. And we'll see what kind of adjustments Roanoke makes at halftime to try and control it. Still time here in the second quarter as a flip ball trick. Vumard still with it, feeds the right side. Fed out in front with a shot and sent wide of the net. McNeely and Peace racing after it. Possession will stay with Lynchburg. 4:24 to go. Lynchburg up 4-3 here at Kerr Stadium in Salem. I'm Nick DeSanctis alongside TJ Kemper.
Yeah, Nick, you talked about emotion, and emotion is fine in the game. You're supposed to have passion in sports, but a little bit too emotion when you're trying to get that big hit from behind, you're going to get called, you're going to cost your team, and you're going to have to defend man down.
Makes it tough as they feed it for Sauer. He gets it out to the top. Sauer down the right side for Dylan Hall. Feeds it in front with a shot. Save made down low by Peace. Where is it? He laid an egg. It's right underneath him. He reaches and covers it up. Peace sits it behind the net to an applause from the Roanoke faithful. Big crowd on hand tonight as Paco races ahead. Paco dumps it off for Jimmy McNeely inside. McNeely has 2 men on him as he turns back. Penalty has expired. Roanoke back to even strength as Coretti moves from behind the net. Coretti to the front. Backhand shot. Scores! Coretti getting his second goal of the night. 12th of the season. Comes on a backhand, and we're tied at 4. 3:36 to go in the first half. As you go back and take a look at the replay, McNeely had brought it ahead as the penalty expired. There was no real slide waiting. Nobody was close enough. Coretti able to beat his man. We saw him do something like that against Gettysburg in the NCAAs last year.
The slide came from number 47, but he was a little hesitant on that. You got to take initiative and give that hit.
He was also coming from a ways away.
He was, but he was a little hesitant. You saw at the last second he stopped, not knowing whether or not that was his slide or not.
As the pass down around behind the net got away. Roanoke after the ground ball. They've had success with the 50-50 balls. They got another one. It's Charlie Peace. Peace racing up the near alley, goes ahead for Wersina. The pass up over his head. Lynchburg will come up with it. They're offsides. The Hornets had stepped over, and they quickly able to retreat as Doobie lost it. Outside shot from a long stick is sent up high as Litsky ripped it up over the net. Peace was there. As looking back, Lynchburg did have a pole that was way back towards the netminder, thus they were onside. So 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. We're tied at 4. Coretti's goal has nodded the score as Nislek across midfield. He's checked at from behind. Nislek comes towards the near side. He and Bracken will trade places as Nislek gets a touch. Nislek lowers the shoulder, tries to come in the near side, flips it down behind the net, pass out of the reach of Coretti. Roanoke will turn it over.
This last minute or two, Nick, is exactly why you call Lacrosse the
as
fastest
hold up.
game
We
on
have a
grass.
loose ball push call here against Lynchburg. I believe they're going to say Nislek got bumped. So Roanoke will keep possession. 2:41 to go in the second. Runs a big offensive possession here late in the half to take momentum to the locker room. As Bracken feeds to the left side.
That last goal by Coretti was essential, saying that we will not back down. We will tie this game. We're going to come back and play our hearts out.
Bracken goes for Coretti behind the net. Now Keating. Back near side, Coretti. Flag is down. Delayed call coming up against Lynchburg as Coretti rolls back. Lost his footing, stays on his feet. Feeds it for Lackland. Has some trouble handling the pass as he was checked from behind. Lynchburg will control and will get the whistle. 2:16 to go and a penalty coming up against Lynchburg. Roanoke will get their second man-up opportunity of the contest. Hold with possession. Technical 30-second penalty assessed to the Hornets. It's Joe Liskey who will sit. Roanoke converted on their man-up opportunity earlier on in this one. As the Maroons get play started, Chad Smith out on the man-up, sends it down around. Goal line extended, it's Hayden. Hayden looked to Mayberry in front, goes out to the top. Smith for Lackland, back to the point for Smith. Chad Smith feeds it near side. Hayden with a shot! It looked like that one got blocked. As Hayden pulled the trigger, he and his man get tied up. Lynchburg having some trouble with the ground ball. Lackland riding his man hard behind the net. Lynchburg trying to get rid of it as Keating popped his man after he let the ball go. Rolled as a clean hit, no flags thrown as an underhand flip ahead is corralled by Kesterman at midfield. Kesterman sends it down the right side, 1:40 to go as Hoff steps in, he scores! Lynchburg able to capitalize in transition. They retake the lead with 1:37 to go in the second. It's 5-4. Hoff getting number 15 of the season, leading his team in goals. Connor Dubois will come out for the faceoff. Orsino wing to the far side, Doobie to the near. As off the faceoff, it's popped ahead by Lynchburg. They're able to come up with it. Moving ahead is Genak. Genak from the right side took the shot and he sent it wide.
Looks like Dubois came in there for that faceoff because Satowski has not been playing up to par where he had with Wooster 13-15.
That's a pretty hard bar to meet.
It is definitely a hard
Lynchburg.
bar, but if you expect what you can.
As Wilfong with it along the near side, checked out by Doobie, protects the stick, wants to stay on his left hand, now feeds it down around behind the net, it's taken there by Oram. Oram kicks it out, 1:15 to go with a shot, scores! A worm burner from Todd Galvin, a tally from the right side, 6-4. Lynchburg now up by 2, 1:14 to go in the second.
Hornets definitely setting the tempo here, setting the pace with those 2 quick goals against Roanoke.
Galvin getting his 4th marker of the year. Now Satowski will come in to take the faceoff. Roanoke making some changes on the defensive end. Panacost is back on close defense. Geary comes up to play long stick midi. Satowski at the X. He gets tied up. Lynchburg just swats it back towards the Roanoke end. DeLong comes up with it there. DeLong with a man on his back will race up the outside. Roanoke keeps the midi back. DeLong over midfield. Has to do something with it as he's checked. Lowers the shoulder, moves down the alley. Roanoke has gotten a goal from one long stick today. DeLong tried to cut to the inside and he lost it. Under a minute to go. Clock at 55 seconds. As Roanoke aggressively on Lynchburg on the outside. They send it now behind the net for Frank Cook. Cook up the near wing for Ben Wright, who turns towards the middle. As he gives it up for Lombardo. Lombardo able to get around Corretting across midfield. Lombardo walks to the near side as he gets a touch. 35 seconds to go. As we have a whistle and a timeout taken by Lynchburg. They'll get the offense set up. As it looks like if they hold, they'll have the last shot. 34 seconds left in the second. Roanoke trails by 2 at 6-4. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio Roanoke. We'll be back after this.
Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com. Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. Number 6 Lynchburg leading number 13 Roanoke 6-4. Roanoke is out shooting Lynchburg 25-22, but falling in shots on goals. The Hornets have the edge 13-10. Roanoke has taken 5 penalties, and that's definitely hurt. 5 man-up opportunities for Lynchburg with 3 goals. 3 for 5 on the man-up. Roanoke is 1 for 2. You take away those opportunities, you take away those penalties, and Roanoke has the lead. In a game this passionate, how important is it for you to just keep your composure and focus more on playing your game than the other guy playing his?
You always got to think of the team. Everyone has their personal grudge against teams they don't like or dislike. And even if the whole team, the whole school doesn't like each other, it's a rivalry. You just got to think of the team. And what's most important is not getting those penalties, getting good checks, getting good body checks, and not going over the top.
These two teams separated by 56 miles. As Lynchburg will operate their offense out of a timeout. Clock at 34.2. They have a 2-goal lead late in the first half. Off the restart, Roddenhouse will carry around behind. Ingold on him. So gives it up for Pat Oram. Oram races up the near side. Sends it out towards the top. Wilfong with 2 goals today, crossover on Doobie. Now cuts in, defenseman goes down with a shot and a save made by Peace on the outside. Peace with his own ground ball behind the net, protects the stick, 10 seconds left, still time for Roanoke as they get ahead for Geary. Geary looking things over, the flag comes in behind the play. Peace was hit late. They go for Jimmy McNeely now at the restraining line. He spins in, got dropped. 3 seconds to go. Geary looking things over. 3 seconds, 2, now 1. Ingold wants to fire with a flag down. Roanoke stepped into the box, then stepped out. Therefore, play is dead, and we'll get the call from behind the net. Back at the other end of the field. As they're going to let the horn sound and just call that the first half, as it is an illegal body check penalty assessed to Lynchburg as the horn sounds, and we're through with the final 30 minutes of the first half. Roanoke will start with possession as they open the third quarter, no face-off, as the flag comes in at the end of play. Roanoke out shooting Lynchburg 25-22 through the first 2 quarters. TJ, I'll step aside. Be back with a first half recap. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Roanoke College. Timeless and true. Smart and solid. Practical and professional. Making discoveries about yesterday. Creating visions for tomorrow. Lifted by a winning college spirit. Forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium as we take a look back at our stats through the first half. After the first quarter, Roanoke led 2-1. They were outscored by Lynchburg 5-2 in the second quarter, and that gives us our halftime score of 6-4. Goal scoring for Lynchburg College. Wilfong with 2, Oram, Lotz, Hoff, and Galvin, each with 1. Hoff, Lotz, Oram, Vumard, and Wilfong have each added an assist. Goal scoring for Roanoke. Joey Coretti has 2. Reed Mayberry with 1. Braden Geary with 1. Keating and McNeely have each added helpers. Roanoke outshooting Lynchburg 25-23. However, the shots on goal number is a little different. 13-10 in favor of Lynchburg. Roanoke has pulled the trigger more. Lynchburg has been more accurate with it. Roanoke losing in the ground ball battle 23-19. TJ, I don't know about you. The first half, it really seemed like Roanoke was winning most of those battles.
They were dominating right in the beginning, and then Lynchburg just came back on them. I think one thing to attribute that to is face-offs. I mean, the face-off battle is pretty close, with Lynchburg winning 58% of them, Roanoke winning 42%. But Roanoke needs to dominate face-offs. That's where they thrive, with all those possessions, all those shots on goals. That's how they beat Worcester, and that's why they lost to Dickinson, because they weren't dominating in those areas. They need to pick it up in face-offs and shots on goals.
As well, trailing in both those categories. In addition to trailing in ground balls, only trailing by 4, though. That's one flurry on a good ride, and you have those 4 ground balls back. Roanoke won just 3 of 8 faceoffs in the second. They've won 5 of 12 in the game. The Maroons have failed on 1 clear. They're 11 for 12. Lynchburg has failed on 3 clears, 11 for 14. The biggest number for me, CJ, you can comment on it as well. Lynchburg 3 for 5 on their man-up opportunities. Roanoke is 1 for 2 so far. It will be 1 for 3 if they don't convert on this penalty, because the penalty was assessed at the end of the first half, counted on the first half stats. 5 penalties for 4.5 minutes for Roanoke. How big of a number is that right now to you?
That is huge. We talked a lot about emotions getting in the way of your playing abilities, and you got to think about the team. You can't get these penalties where you're hitting them hard from the back or getting holds or whatever the case may be. You got to keep your composure and just play with the team in mind. You can't just get satisfaction out of your own self getting a hit. You got to think about the team, and getting a penalty that hurts the entire team more than it does you.
Charlie Peace played 18 minutes of the first half. He allowed 5 goals, made 2 saves. The biggest thing for Peace was his ability to clear the ball. That really helped Roanoke. Hardon played 12 minutes. He gave up 1 goal while making 5 saves. Really, what do you make of those numbers?
The stats are hard to look at. There's so many things to think about, but Charles Peace's ability to clear is one of his better attributes that he has. And you saw in that last part when he got the clear off and then took the late hit. He took one for the team, and now that's why they're man up. Mike Hardon has been playing amazing. You got to look at the stats. He let in 1 goal, saved 5. Even though he played a little bit less time, he's been doing phenomenal.
Hardon, the start of the beginning part of last season, started the Lynchburg regular season contest. He was relieved late in the third quarter, I believe early in the fourth quarter, by Charlie Peace, who grabbed the bull by the horns and was the Maroon starter the rest of the way, carrying them to within 2 wins of the program's second national championship. They fell to Salisbury in the NCAA semifinals last year. And if you remember, Salisbury went on to blow out Tufts in the national championship game. Lynchburg leading Roanoke 6-4. We'll be back to reflect back on the keys to the game and take a look at the start of our second half. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.
Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com. Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem.
After Hobart had eliminated Roanoke from the NCAA tournament in 2 of the previous 3 seasons, Roanoke College finally got its chance for revenge and upended the hosting Panthers with a 1-point victory in the 1978 NCAA Division II Lacrosse Championship. In a game played before 4,200 fans at Hobart's Boswell Field, Roanoke jumped out to a 7-6 first quarter lead, but Hobart bounced back with 5 goals in the second period to take an 11-9 lead at halftime. In the second half, the Maroons' defense stifled the high-octane Hobart attack and outscored the Statesmen 5-2 in the second half. With the game knotted at 13, head coach Paul Griffin ran a trick play to set up the winning goal. In the title game, John Sullivan made 18 saves. Over 3 games in the tournament, he stopped 43 shots and was named the tournament's most valuable player. 5 different players were named to the All-American squad. Roanoke completed that season with a 12-2 overall record, with the lone losses coming at the hands of Division I powers North Carolina and Towson.
Mac and Bob's opened for business in 1980. Over the years, we've grown from 10 stools to a full-service restaurant that seats 330 people. Now we invite you to come try our new breakfast menu, featuring sweet potato pancakes, eggs Benedict, omelets made to order, stuffed French toast, homemade sausage and gravy biscuits, and much more. Open for breakfast Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m., Sunday brunch 10 a.m. till 2. See you for breakfast at Mac and Bob's in Salem.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium as we get set to start our second half of play between the Roanoke Maroons and the Lynchburg Hornets. Roanoke will open the second half man up after a penalty was assessed to Lynchburg for illegal body check as they knocked down Peace behind the play as Roanoke was clearing to end the second quarter. Roanoke 1 for 2 on the man up. Mike Hardon back in goal for the Maroons. We're now going right to left. Lynchburg going left to right. Under the lights, under the stars here at Kerr Stadium. Hayden starts with her underway here in the third. Keating has it at the top. To the near side, Wersina. Back to the top now, Hayden as they cycle. Hayden comes to the near side. Now gets it back. Hayden looks, whips it in front. Lackland protects the stick with a shot. He scores! Rich Lackland! A man-up goal. 19 seconds in, and Roanoke has pulled it back to a one-goal differential. It's 6-5. 14:41 to go in the third quarter. Lackland getting number 19 of the season. A man-up tally for his 20th point of the 2012 campaign. As Hayden played catch up top with Chad Smith before finding Lackland in close. A great move to just protect his stick as illegal procedure against Satoski on the faceoff. Lynchburg will quickly move ahead on a brief 6-on-5 as Roanoke gets reorganized on the defensive end.
That last goal, Nick, was so important because Lynchburg had two quick goals at the end of the last half. They were owning the game. Getting that goal tells Lynchburg that they're not in control anymore.
As you have to wonder, I've never played sports at a competitive college level like this. You have to wonder what's on the mind of these Lynchburg players and how much last year's game is in their head. They had a huge lead on Roanoke. Maroons reeled off 9 goals in the fourth quarter in 9 minutes and came back to win as a ground ball towards the near side.
Yeah, Nick, I'm sure there's some hard feelings about that game. They definitely don't want it to happen again, but they're more worried about this season. They're coming off straight 5 wins. They're trying to get their 6th, and they're just on fire. They want to beat Roanoke, get it over with, and try and show that they're better than them.
As a shot sent one after the roll dodge to the inside by Rodenhouse. As these two teams, after that regular season meeting, they met again in the postseason. The championship game. Roanoke won that 10-12. There was a lot of talk about the comeback in that game. And Lynchburg came back to make that one very close after a big lead by Roanoke as McNeely comes up with a ground ball in the middle after a misconnected pass. McNeely across the midfield as he moves down the near side, gets a touch in the box, turns and gives it up for Mike Hayden at the top.
Easy transition for Roanoke right there.
Lynchburg just pulling back on the defensive end. 13:20 to go here in the third quarter. Roanoke trails by 1 as Dubois dodges it on the left side. Outside shot, he sent it wide. It's backed up by Coretti. Fed back out in front. Lackland with a shot, he scores! Tipped off the stick of Frank Cook and into the back of the net. This game's tied at 6. 13:10 to go in the third.
And Roanoke comes back within 2 minutes. 2 goals in 2 minutes. That's not bad, Nick.
Fastest game on turf. That's Cook, one of the best goalies in the ODAC. He read it. He got his stick on it. As Lackland found himself open, Cook stepped to the ball, got the stick up on it. Just not enough of it. Tough one. Very tough one to swallow for Frank Cook. As off the faceoff, Lynchburg ended up kicking it ahead, but we have a whistle and I believe a loose ball trip called against Lynchburg. Possession will go to Roanoke. As the Maroons will bring this one ahead. Ryan Wersina hands it off for Brendan Neislick. Maroons will look to pull on top here in this offensive possession. Score tied at 6. As Coretti moves to the near side, cycles it back down around behind the net for Jeff Keating. Keating without a goal today comes to the near side for Coretti. Out to the top for Drew Brackett, who takes the ball in a hop. Throw there for Spencer Parsons. Parsons drives in on the right side. Look to draw the slide. Feeds it down around behind for Coretti, who couldn't handle the pass. Lynchburg after the ground ball. Dubois came in and took someone's stick out. Roanoke up with possession. Out to the top it goes as Bracken has it for the Maroons. Bracken for Spencer Parsons. Steps in and fires. That one got blocked. That's going to leave a mark as Lynchburg will race back up the other way as Galvin tries to go inside out on Parsons. Comes down the near side, tries to swim over top and does. Parsons, a great back check thrown from behind, able to knock the ball free. Paco comes up with the ground ball for the Maroons. Paco flips this one ahead for Braden Geary, who races in. Geary draws the man to the near side. It's Jeff Keating. Keating has a trailer as Parsons races towards the outside. Looks to move back to the end, lost his footing, gets back up, drew the slide, now steps towards the middle. Parsons on his way down, he scores! Spencer Parsons! And a flag comes in late. Roanoke has the lead 7-6, 11:50 to go in the third. What a goal by Parsons.
Parsons is a phenomenal athlete on that one. He was tripping for almost 5 total seconds, and then I can't even believe he got the shot off. I thought he was going to get leveled.
As we can go back and take a look, he drew the slide on his way down. A backhand shot bounces it in on Cook. For Parsons, it's his first goal since the NCAA semis at Salisbury. And the penalty assessed to Lynchburg, a personal foul. Roanoke will go man up. Ben Wright on and in the penalty box. If Roanoke can't control this draw, it'll make things much more difficult. And Lynchburg comes up with it. Racing back was Coretti trying to throw a check. He couldn't quite get there. As Lynchburg looks like they're going to get double teamed. As Hoff moving through the middle towards the outside. Hoff hacked at by Geary. He's able to knock the ball free towards the far alley. Ingold bumped hard, lost it, swatted to keep it in bounds, and Lynchburg ends up taking it free at the top as Rodenhouse sends it back down the left side. Penalty time winding down. And the penalty has released as doubled behind the net. Lynchburg free in front. Hardon came out to challenge, and he made a great save. Roanoke will look to start to clear it back to the way. Hardon there at the edge of his crease. I couldn't even catch the number. Gave the Hornet no room to shoot at. As Hayden across midfield, successful clear for Roanoke. Hayden steps in on the near side under 11 minutes to go. Roanoke up 7-6. In the third corner at Kerr Stadium in Salem. Hayden with it on the right side. Roanoke still a man up. Now the penalty has expired. Back to even strength. Skip pass towards the near side. Dug up by Chad Smith. Goes down low. Lackland. Coretti with a shot. He scores! Coretti from the side of the net. And Roanoke up 2. Coretti, the hat trick. Getting goal number 13 of the season. An even strength goal. Comes with 10:42 to go in the third. As we can go back and take a look. As Smith sent it down low, a 2-on-1 at the side of the net. Coretti, not a lot of angle, turn, and just dropped it down low.
Coretti with a true attackman move right there with the fake up top and then just down low shot. He knew exactly what he was doing as soon as he got the ball.
As a loose ball hold called against the Maroons. As Lynchburg controls, the Hornets now trail by 2, 10.5 to go in the third quarter. As Roanoke trailed going into halftime, they've came out firing on all cylinders. At the top for Lynchburg, it's Max Vumard. Vumard steps in, dodges towards the right side on Merritt, who tied him up. Pass down around behind the net. Mishandled. Hardon's going to come out as he got popped. Got a piece of the ball. Now Hardon up with the GB. Hardon turns back behind the net. Looks to clear, launches it ahead. Taken on the hop by Braden Geary through midfield. Geary already with one goal today. It's a 4-on-3. Lynchburg quickly getting back. Geary looks, steps in, fires! He scores! Braden Geary again! Do you believe it? Geary, his second goal of the night. 9-6, Roanoke 8. Rather 9:58 to go here in the third quarter. Taking a look at the replay, TJ, we talked at the half about hard-on versus Peace in ball handling ability.
We did. Well, we talked about Peace being a great clear right there, being able to come out of net, dodge some defender or some attackman, excuse me, and hard-on definitely proved himself by getting the clear and allowing that easy goal by Roanoke.
I'm not sure I'd call it easy, to be honest with you.
Or quick goal, excuse me.
As Satowski wins the faceoff by default as Lynchburg jumped. Satowski will head off. Roanoke gets the top midfield unit out for Roanoke. Hayden to the top for Dubois. Smith on his way in to join his men. As Dubois steps in the top right corner. Packed house here at Kerr Stadium. You can feel the energy. On a Saturday night, St. Patrick's Day. As Dubois racing behind that, looks to feed in front. Wraps the near side. Took the shot. He sent that one up high. Cook may have gotten a piece of it. It goes out of bounds in the corner. The Maroons closer. Roanoke will retain possession.
You can definitely see Lynchburg's sideline right there. Little downhearted after that last goal. When they were hyped up, they were the loudest people here out of the crowd and Roanoke's line.
As off the restart, it goes to Hayden at the top. Hayden in front for Kyle Smith. Unable to connect on the pass. Goes wide of the net. McCready trying to tell the officials it was a shot. The officials rule it a pass, therefore possession back to Lynchburg as Cook takes it behind the net. Sends it up through the middle for Matt Manzo. Roanoke in the midst of a 5-0 run here on Lynchburg. That's put them ahead 9-6. As Doobie throwing some checks from the near side as Manzo was unable to cut in. Feeds it down around behind the net. Now out to the point for the Hornets. As Rodenhouse will cut to his left. Strolling down the left wing alley. Smith on him. Lynchburg 6-1 this season. They were picked as the top team in the ODAC. Roanoke slided at number 2. Still moving behind the net is Rodenhouse as Lynchburg completing their midi change. Rodenhouse comes up the goal and extended, rolls back to X.
Yeah, I think Lynchburg has to get something right here. Roanoke is owning this game with the momentum with these 3 last goals they had.
As the Hornets go out to the top. Trying to cut it on the left side, it's Wilfong. Already with 2 goals tonight. Smith looked like he lost his footing. He's able to stay out. Wilfong's going to try and take him again. Drives towards the left side, unable to get his hands free. As Paco came on the slide. Pass behind the net, fed to the near side. Lynchburg will work it around. The Roanoke defense recovered very well, giving the Hornets no room to breathe as Sauer turns it on the left side. Gives it up. Wilfong on the wing. Back for Sauer at the top. Sauer covered by Smith. As he breaks it on the right side, Roanoke switching up on defense. Sauer goes back for Vumar. Turns it in, fires, he scores! Vumar a bullet off the roll dodge.
Lynchburg trying to prove themselves as they've won only 2 of the last 14 meetings with Roanoke and 0 of the last 5.
As we've said, this senior class has not beaten Roanoke. They will not go quietly into the night. Vumar the tally his 7th. Cuts the Roanoke lead back to 2. 7:44 to go in the third. Roanoke up 9-7. We knew coming in this was going to be a close game. It's definitely proved to be a good one. As Satoski up with the faceoff in, flips to the near side. Fed now for Keating. Keating down low. Lackland, he scores! Rich Lackland! Roanoke answers right back as Lackland gets number 20 on the season. Roanoke back up by 3. It's 10-7. As off the faceoff wins Satoski. Just able to flip it ahead for Wersina. For Keating and down low, Lackland. Keating to Lackland. Getting the assist. Oh, Lackland's 20th of the season as the Canadian flag hangs proudly up behind the net. As off the face-off win, Litsky breaks up the far side. Doobie, a few checks on him. Long stick on long stick as Lynchburg lost it. It sits at the restraining line, but a flag comes in. It's going to be a slashing call against Doobie. Roanoke will go back to the man down. Some of the penalties we've seen today have been hits from behind, a push that's late. That one's a little different. I think that's just pilot-type aggressive lacrosse with Doobie, a long stick going up against a long stick. That's 12 feet of metal smacking up against each other.
It's aggressive play. It's bound to happen. It's just all about the refs, how they see it. It could be a slash. It could be a good check. But this is a great opportunity for Lynchburg to come back from this 3-point differential.
10-7 to go in the third. 7:20. As Lynchburg feeds it behind the net. Roanoke again has a short stick on the outside covering Ben Sauer this time. It's on the near side. Lynchburg goes goal line extended. Back up the wing for Wilfong. Wilfong, a through pass. Sauer tries to cut in. He stood up, can't get anywhere. Feeds the top, now to the near side. Goal line extended along the near wing. Hornets trying to come up from behind the net. Roanoke read it well. Moving to the middle on his left hand, it's Wilfong. Wilfong feeds the outside. Shot save made by Charlie Peace. Paco will be closer to it along the sideline. Possession back to Roanoke.
Lynchburg needed to go there and denied by Charles Peace. Huge, huge save.
Peace went down hugging the iron. 6:48 to go in the third. So Roanoke has taken the advantage in shots on goal, 16-15. 34-26 now the spread in overall shots as Hayden up the right side. Cuts towards the middle around one Hornet. At midfield, runs along the stripe. No turns back.
Roanoke still man down, doing a great job at killing this penalty.
As the penalty has released, Dubois steps over. As Roanoke's going to need to get a touch. Dubois now steps in. Dubois had come in off the bench. Penalty time still counting against Roanoke. Smith on the edge of the box. He releases. Now we're back to even strength. As Dubois gives it up for Smith out of the box with a full head of steam. Look out. Smith lowers the shoulder. Now tries to roll back. Has it punched free as he couldn't get anywhere. Lynchburg kicks it towards the far side. Creddy after it as well as he bumps his man. Lynchburg able to rake it right up into their own bench. Possession right back to Roanoke as Lazicki had some trouble coming up with that ground ball with the pressure on his back from Dubois and Coretti.
He did that as a mistake, but not a bad defensive move just to get the ball out of their zone.
It's not like he kicked it in front of his own net. He sent it out of bounds.
That's true. Better to clear it to the sides than the middle.
His team can still get a horn. They can take a breather. They can bring out a new defensive unit if they choose. As Dubois goes down around behind the net for Coretti, the near side he looks for Keating, who's covered. Coretti goes up the wing. Dubois had to reach out with the pass to corral that one. Dubois fakes the pass, sees the lane from the right side. Defender slid on quickly. He goes down around behind the net. To the near side, it's Coretti. Coretti looks back across for Keating. Now still with it. Coretti moves towards the far side. Comes up the far side of the crease. Stops. Puts the brakes on. Lowers the shoulder. Tried to feed out in front for Smith. That one comes all the way through. And will trickle out of bounds along the near side. The officials say it was not tipped on its way through. Possession back to Lynchburg.
Lynchburg has to start getting some goals here. They can't just get a goal and have Roanoke come back with it every time. Roanoke is dominating this game. Lynchburg needs to get this transition. They need to get a couple goals on the scoreboard.
Roanoke up 10-7. Number 6 Lynchburg, number 13 Roanoke. Here at Donald J. Kirsch Stadium on the campus of Roanoke College in Salem, Virginia. As Cook on the clear. Gives it for a short stick to his left. It's Wilfong. Wilfong back for Frank Cook. Cook drew his man, flipped it for the long stick. As Litsky will move ahead. Litsky across midfield. The Roanoke defense will converge to the near side. Look out. Oram walking right in. Sends it down low. They score.
You can see how careful Lynchburg was on that clear right there. Very precise, very slow, because Roanoke's ride has been so effective today.
That was great work by Elram. He drew everybody towards him and was able to dish it down low as Dylan Hoff able to come around the crease and beat Peace. Cuts the lead to 2. 10-8 the score here in the third quarter. 5:10 remaining. The faceoff sits at the X. Lynchburg able to control. Faking the pass was Wilfong. Rather, Jernak. Jernak moving down the near wing. Sends it down around behind. As the Hornets offense will operate, slowly slowing down the big Roanoke offensive machine. At the top, Vimard races in on the right side. DeLong waiting to slide. Took a shot through traffic and a stick save made by Peace. Doobie up with the ground ball. Outlets for Eric DeLong on the near side. DeLong looking ahead. He has Merritt, and he's able to thread it in. Merritt with a man on him, protects the stick. Left-handed shot, he right off the crossbar. He was able to beat Cook, but look out, coming back the other way, it's Lynchburg. Doobie still back in the play. The Maroons now with 5 back. As the Hornets try and drive in, an outside shot gets high and wide. That one out of the stick of Max Vimard. Possession to stay with Lynchburg. Off the restart, Wilfong has it on the left side. He'll go out to the top for Rodenhouse. Rodenhouse covered by Werseen as he cuts it on the right side. Rodenhouse finds a no lane. Elects not to go to X, sits with it on the near side. Lynchburg getting the call from the sideline as Rodenhouse dishes it behind the net. Moving at X is Sauer. Trying to feed it out in front. Ball kicked free and it's in. They score. It somehow went by Peace. The tally is going to go to Dylan Hoff.
I'm not even sure how that went in there, Nick. It looked like it.
I'm not either.
Deflected.
As they're down after the ground ball, I mean, somebody could have easily just hockeyed it in with a wrist shot.
But it was definitely not something Peace expected, so it didn't even look like it came from a stick. But
I'm so nice to get the replay queued up. Runs back down for the faceoff. As Lynchburg able to win the faceoff ahead. Couldn't really tell from that on because now a flag comes in as Roanoke is going to get called.
And Lynchburg will have an opportunity for a free shot on this one, Nick.
Bracken trying to bump Jernak out as Jernak was tripped up from behind. As the ball free on the turf in the near corner of the box. Roanoke just has to kick it out of the box, and they'll get the whistle. As now crosser move, Bernard in with a shot, he scores! What a great bounce shot up over the shoulder. He's been out for Mard. Pat Oram with the tally. It's his second of the contest. That ties the score at 10. 3:30 to go. Oram's goal, his 14th tally of the season.
This is why I love the game, Nick. The game is so fast. 1 second you're up 3 goals, 1 second you're tied. These teams have been going back and forth in these offensive possessions so quick it's hard to even follow sometimes. They're so fast.
The flag down was obviously a technical foul, washed out with the goal. It's a slow whistle from the referee. As Roanoke comes up with a ground ball, it's Braden Geary. Geary with 2 goals today, checked at from behind. Geary pressured, gives it up along the near side. Quickly moving ahead is Panacost. Panacost puts the brakes on, hacked at by a long stick as he turns back, looks to midfield. Has to do something with it, launches it all the way across. Mike Hayden snags that one out of the air. Roanoke needs a touch as Hayden steps in the box on the right side. Panacost got his first career assist last game as he assisted a Jeff Keating tally. Hayden carries all the way in towards the far corner, wants to take his man. Hayden moves, now feeds it out, hoping for Reed Mayberry. Pass was tipped and knocked away. Lynchburg over, comes up with the ground ball. It's Ben Wright. Right in the far alley. Sends it down around behind the net for Frank Cook. Goes over the head of Lack on the near side for Litsky. Litsky towards his own restraining line. Just floats this one ahead. As Lynchburg quickly spins it into the box. Successful clear for the Hornets. They were able to really play chess with the Maroons on the ride. As Galvin has it out of the box. Turns back. Sends it for his line mate coming out in Lombardo. Whether Vin Curran. Curran cuts to the near side. Doobie on him. Curran moving down the wing. Now feeds it back up the near side. It's Todd Galvin, the freshman. 1 goal today. Looks things over. Goes down around behind the net for Ben Sauer. Sauer quickly kicks it up the far wing. Trying to dodge in is Manzo. Manzo had his stick lifted. Forced the issue with the pass. Comes out towards the near side. No one really in the vicinity. Curran will pick it up by himself. He's still covered by Doobie. Down to the final minute 50 of the third. Cutting on the near side is Wilfong. Wilfong stood up there by Dubois. Sends a pass down around behind. Vimard feeds it up the right side. Out of the reach of Manzo into the Roanoke bench. The Maroons will get it back. Unforced error from Lynchburg. Stops the clock with 1:39 to go in the third.
Roanoke needs a solid offensive possession right here. They need to slow it down a little bit. They need to work around the perimeter, find their opportunity, and get a goal.
Taking the lead going into the fourth quarter would be huge. As Bracken starts with it. Bracken dodges through one. Shifty pass another. Successful clear for Roanoke as Bracken steps into the box. Bracken dodges towards the near side. Bracken with a shot. He sent it high and wide. It's backed up on the play by Mike Hayden. Roanoke will keep possession. Either Reed Mayberry. Mayberry for Keating behind the net. Back far side for Mayberry. He'll go out to the top. It's taken there by Neislick. Final 1:25 of the third. Neislick from the right side. Took the shot. He sent it wide of the net. Backed up by Keating. Back out in front. Lackland tries to turn back. He's hacked. As the ball knocked free. Lynchburg up with the ground ball. That was Spencer Parsons, who was trying to maneuver in traffic. As Lombardo with it behind the net. Has Cook with him. Lackland splits them. Lombardo turns back to Cook. Now looks to move ahead. He's past his own restraining line. Lombardo with a full head of steam coming out towards midfield. Keating hacked at him for good measure. Lombardo turns back, trying to protect his stick. Flip the pass ahead for Wilfong. Wilfong steps to the box on the near side, covered by Doobie. Under a minute to play in the third. Clock down to the final 50 seconds. As Wilfong turns up in the near alley. Spread in the midst of a midi change. It's passed along for Rodenhouse. Steps into the box on the near side. He's covered by Drew Bracken. Bracken, Doobie, and Parsons. The defensive midfield out for the Maroons. A quick slide comes from Paco. It's fed back down around behind the net. Pass got free. Lynchburg comes up with the ground ball on the far side. As Dylan Hoff moves in the far wing. Under 10 seconds to go in the third. Rather, under 20. Clock at 15. As turning back behind the net is Derek Sweet. Sweet tied up. An illegal screen called here against Lynchburg. Roanoke will have a chance to come back the other way. 8.7 seconds left. Paco starts with it. Maroons have to move upfield quickly as Paco gets it for Drew Bracken. 4 seconds left. Bracken ahead for Geary. 2 seconds now, 1. Geary eats it as the horn sounds, and that'll do it through 3 quarters. Roanoke came out firing at the start of the third. Lynchburg was able to answer. Again, this game tied. The score at 10. As we enter the fourth quarter, we'll be back with the start of the final quarter here at Kerr Stadium. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food in your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net.
We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Donald J. Kerr Stadium in Salem. The Maroons outshooting Lynchburg 35-22. Lynchburg holding the advantage in shots on goal at 20-16. Game tied at 10 as we enter the final 15.
Overall, Lynchburg has been doing better in the statistics like shots on goal, face-offs and saves and turnovers.
They have been better in shots on goal as well.
But if you look at the game in intervals, when Roanoke is dominating to get those 3 goals to get that 10-7 lead, they've been getting more ground balls. They've been getting more shots on goals. And then it switches around, and Lynchburg starts doing well. It's back and forth with these two teams.
As off the face-off, Satowski was in on the draw for Roanoke. They swat at it. Lynchburg yet emerged from the pile with good speed ahead. It's Wilfong. Wilfong forms a 4-on-3. Checks in. He's checked by DeLong from behind. Roanoke able to come up with a loose ball. This piece is still in net for the Maroons. Roanoke racing up the left wing. It's Worsina. Worsina stopped in the far alley. Turns away from pressure as he's hacked at. Litsky tying him up for the moment as Worsina moves down the side. Worsina gives it up. He has Kyle Smith as Roanoke will bring out the top midi unit. Smith racing in from the near side. Smith with a full head of steam, no angle, goes down around behind the net for Coretti. Coretti comes up the far side of the crease, now stops, flag down, delayed call coming up against Lynchburg. Roanoke has to keep it in the box. As Dubois moves down the left wing, calling for Hayden. Hayden, the top left corner, looking things over as he's covered on the play by Wilfong. Hayden dodges, now races to the near side. Kicks it out in front. Coretti had it come in and out of his stick. He couldn't quite make the grab. Otherwise, he was all alone on Cook. Lynchburg touches up and will get the call. It is a slashing penalty against the Hornets. I believe it's on Jernak. Roanoke will go back to the man up. A chance to take the lead. 13:56 to go in this one.
This man up is so important in the fourth quarter. They need to get the lead. They need to get a solid few goals and keep the lead because Lynchburg has been on fire, just as Roanoke has been, just at different intervals during the game.
Roanoke 2 for 4 on the man up. They have a minute with which to work. Ready from the far side. Goes out to the top for Smith. The near side, it's Hayden. Hayden cuts, tried to feed it down low. It got all the way through to the back end. As Keating got away with a slash as he caught Ruddenhouse up high. He was back on the penalty kill. Ruddenhouse comes up with the ground ball behind the net. Looking to do something with it. Roanoke is a man up. Maroons try and make a change, but Lynchburg's unable to handle the pass. Comes down the near side. DeLong ties up his man. Ball makes its way out of bounds. Possession back to Roanoke as Lynchburg had a chance to clear and kill. Unable to handle the pass out of their own end. Paco will start with it for the Maroons. In his own alley along the near side. Roanoke still plenty of time on the man up. 30 seconds remaining. As Packer goes in the middle for Charlie Peace. He has Hayden right over the midfield line. Goes to Smith up the left wing. Chad Smith, the freshman, working on the man-up unit. Goes to the left side. Out to the top it comes Keating. Back for Smith. Steps in, fakes the shot. Goes to Keating again at the top. Keating to the near side. Hayden. Back now Keating. Again Hayden. Steps in, looks for the through pass. Can't find it. Keating at the top. Again Hayden. They come to the near side. Reed Mayberry. Mayberry for Hayden again. Hayden steps in, goes to Keating at the top. Penalty has expired. Keating steps in, near side Hayden. Wants to take a shot. Goes across for Smith with a shot. And a great save made up high by Frank Cook. Read that one all the way.
Good shot on goal at the end of the penalty there. But Keaton and Hayden were just kind of playing pass for most of that man up.
We didn't really see a play develop.
No, it was more just pass the ball around, see if we can get an opportunity. It looks like I know they wanted to pass and get that skip pass on that shot on the far side there, but it just didn't happen until the end.
Looking for Smith on the backside. The Lynchburg penalty kill did a great job keeping their sticks up. You hear that ever since you're young on the penalty kill, sticks up. And it paid off there for Lynchburg, taking away at the lane. The Hornets moving along the far side. It's Matt Manzo. Doobie moving down the alley. Just over 12 minutes to go. Manzo pulls up behind the net. The Hornets have completed their midi change. Manzo up the far side. Feeds it out towards the top. Lynchburg takes the pass on a bounce. It's Galvin. Galvin is covered by Hayden. That's Galvin going to pull all the way down around behind. Roanoke will make a quick change on defense as Paco switches on. Galvin goes out to the top, where it's fed further. There's Vimard in the middle with a shot. Stick save made by Peace. Peace hacked at hard. As he comes up along the near side, he's going to carry it ahead himself. Peace across midfield, lowers his shoulder and takes the hit. Peace looks to give it up as he's still checked at. Vimard is all over him. Peace still controlling. Has the ball in the fishnet. Tried to give it up for Bracken. It was checked. Bracken able to come away with it. Bracken races down the near side. He has Mayberry in front. Bracken races ahead, looks to feed, finds nothing. Turns back towards the middle. Great work by Charlie Peace to get the clear. And here comes Neislick off the bench. Steps in and fires. He scores! Brendan Neislick! An absolute bullet to the back of the net from the outside.
I think Pilot found his reason for what they can use now Neislick for.
You could see his outside shot developing his freshman year. He just likes to step in and let it rip. Bracken saw him coming out of the box. The defender was a little late getting over. I guess didn't expect Neislick to shoot from that far out. And he went high to low with it.
And Neislick just shot with the momentum coming straight from the box.
Just pushing everything off that back foot. All of his weight going into
True midi shot from the outside of that box right there. Or strain box.
As off the face-off. Geary, after the ground ball, he can't quite come up with it. Lynchburg having some trouble with it as well. Satowski digging for it. The Maroons ground ball leader unable to come up with it. As Litsky has it on the right side. Took the shot. He scores. Lynchburg able to answer quickly. We saw Roanoke give up 2 goals to long sticks in the Dickinson game. As Litsky, the long stick midi for Lynchburg, answers right back on Roanoke's tally. 11-11 the score with 11 minutes to go. Go ahead and make yourself a wish, TJ.
A lot of deep hole goals in this game today. Peace has amazed me today, this game. He's had 11 goals scored on him, and it's not all his fault.
Well, not 11 on Peace.
Well, okay. Peace has had a bunch of goals scored on him, and he comes out and takes the ball to half midfield. You never see your goalie get hit during practice, but yet he takes the hits in the game, and he's not wearing elbow pads probably.
Nope, he's not.
And he got hacked at for a while there.
It's going to hurt. He's going to feel it tomorrow. Peace has allowed 8 goals, made 3 saves. Hardon has allowed 2 goals, made 7 saves. Peace still the man in net for the Maroons. As Lynchburg controls the faceoff, trying to clear it from their own end. They'll go pole to pole towards the far side. Taken there by Lombardo. Lombardo in the middle for Frank Cook. Looks to the near side. Has a man at midfield, but having some trouble with that pass and losing out of bounds was John Gill. Another turnover for Lynchburg.
Hopefully the Roanoke Maroons can capitalize on this mistake right here.
Lynchburg, that's their 14th turnover, Roanoke with 11. Jabal Hayden and Smith, the top midi unit out for the Maroons. Along with Lachlan Coretti and Keating on attack. The Maroons in some sort of an open set, trying to figure out how they're getting lined up. Coretti at the top, Keating is underneath. Hayden starts on the near wing. Hayden dodges in, looks to go topside. Looked for a shot, feeds Coretti in front. He took a hard stick up high. That'll be a penalty. 2 flags come in. Roanoke will go back to the man advantage.
Looks like he got hit hard in the head by 2 Hornet defenders there.
He got cracked. Somebody tried to come with an over-the-top check to take the stick out from behind. Ended up catching him up high. The man-up unit will go to work, trying to break the tie. 10:08 to go in the 4th quarter.
Almost better to get the penalty, though, than to get scored on, because it looked like he was in a pretty good position to score right there.
He was going to be moving in quickly on Cook unless somebody got a stick on him and someone tied him up.
Yeah, you've got to be aggressive on defense, especially right in front of the crease right there.
And that a game this close, this late, with this much on the line.
If you get the penalty on defense, the coach can't be as mad as if you get an offense where there's no reason for it.
Smith out to the top for Jeff Keating. 60 seconds of man-up time for the Maroons as they feed it to the top. Smith steps in, fakes the shot, comes to Hayden, back now for Smith. Smith for Hayden at the top. Now to Mayberry on the near side. Back to the point for Hayden. Hayden to the left side for Smith as Roanoke cycles. They go to the top now for Coretti. Coretti further for Rich Lachlan. The near side Hayden tried to get open, couldn't. Comes to the near side Mayberry. He had a shooting lane, elects to pass it off instead. Hayden to the top for Smith. Skip past Mayberry, steps in and fires. Getting a great stick on that was Cook. Coming across his face. Now Lachlan up with the ground ball, flips it for Mike Hayden. Hayden will let things get reorganized as he fakes the pass. Goes to the top now for Jeff Keating. Keating to the left side for Smith. Smith draws in, fires. That one got blocked. The rebound popped right back in on Cook as Coretti was digging for it. Penalty has released back to even strength. Roanoke a couple good looks in that man up. Really didn't get one solid shot on that. Cook, though, had an answer.
Cook has been playing amazing. That's what the goalies is the reason why this game is so close. All three goalies that have played this game have been playing phenomenal.
Oddly enough, that was one of our keys to the game. 7 saves for Frank Cook. As Lynchburg headmanning up the right side, they'll go in the middle now for Wilfong. As Wilfong walks down the outside. Gibby on him as he goes behind the net. Comes up to the near side for Ben Sauer. Sauer tries to take the long to the inside, unable to get too many steps on him to take a shot. Now gives it up for Vumard. Vumard bumped at, feeds behind the net. Coming up the near side is Oram. Turns in front with a shot and a save made by Peace. Ingold racing after along the far side. Possession will stay with Lynchburg. Ingold standing on the line, watch the ball roll out. Possession goes to he who is closest when the ball crosses the line. The official saying that Ruddenhouse was closer than Ingold.
Well, if Peace can keep making those ridiculous saves, doesn't matter his possession.
As Wilfong cuts on the near side, Doobie the check, able to knock the ball free. Wilfong back up with the loose one. 8 minutes to go in regulation. As Wilfong crosses over, then lost it. Comes up with the ground ball again. Score still tied at 11 here at Donald J. Kerr Stadium. Oram moving behind the net and checked at by Paco. Oram up the far side. Sends it further to the top. As Galvin cuts on the left side. Galvin stops. Looks towards the near, now feeds it down around behind. Oram comes up the far side. Behind the back chance, and he sent it wide. DeLong over after it. Possession will stay with Lynchburg.
These tricks are fun, the behind the back shot. I've had a few of those goals in my day, but in an 11-11 game, you got to take some good, hard bounce shots. When you're pretty open, you got to get these goals. You can't be fooling around.
The bounce shots have had success on Peace.
They're hard to defend because you don't know how they're going to react to the spin with the ball. And every turn
as that pass out of the reach, as Manzo just threw it into his own bench. Possession will go back to Roanoke. 7:25 to go in the fourth.
Roanoke finally gets the ball off that long Lynchburg possession right there. They're lucky they didn't get too many goals there.
After the man-up chance by Roanoke, they hold Lynchburg on the defensive end. We'll see if the Maroons can counter here. Geary starts with it, gives it up for Connor Dubois in the middle. Dubois races to the near side, and very intriguing check attempt by Lynchburg is beaten by Dubois, who steps in the box. Dubois tries to split defenders with a swim dodge in front, one-handed shot, and that one blocked down. Rebound chance comes for Coretti. Somehow Cook got over it, wouldn't go. Coretti back after it. He's hacked at, going for the loose ball. Now has it behind the net. He worked a man ball with Keating. As Coretti hacked at, we have a whistle and a timeout taken by Coach Pilot. He wants to get the offense set up. Roanoke, a big opportunity here, an offensive possession in the second half of the fourth quarter. 7:02 to go. Score tied at 11 here in Salem. We'll be back after these messages. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads. pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. Taking a look at our stats so far. Roanoke outshooting the Hornets. The Hornets holding the advantage in shots on goal. The game, though, really is dead even at this point. Scores locked at 11.
Both teams have definitely stepped up. In the beginning, Roanoke had pretty much owned the first quarter, and then Lynchburg came back, but both teams right now are playing great college lacrosse.
Oddly enough, Roanoke came out. They owned the start of the third quarter. Then Lynchburg came back, owned the second half of the third quarter. And now we sit in a complete stalemate.
Both teams have been playing great defense. I mean, the offense has been decent, but they have not been able to score in these last few minutes. And the defense has been amazing, especially if you look at the goalies. Frank Cook and Peace have been playing amazing defense.
Peace will return to the net. As opposed to Hardon. Hardon more saves than Peace by a wide margin. Pilot has the confidence in the sophomore. Roanoke will operate out of a timeout. Hayden from behind the net. Turns back, gives it up for Kyle Smith at X. Smith and his defender in a stalemate. Smith comes up the near side. Looks to feet, skips it across from Mike Hayden. Hayden racing the near side of the box, goes for Connor Dubois. Dubois and Hayden will trade places. Dubois races behind the net, puts the brakes on. Has Hayden, gives it up. Hayden steps in, fires, he scores! Mike Hayden puts it right underneath the crossbar, and Roanoke has the lead. It's 12-11. Hayden gets his 9th goal of the season. That one coming with 6:35 to go in the fourth to give Roanoke the 12-11 lead. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. As Dubois able to draw the men, Hayden stepped in, really had to pick the spot because of two defenders there. He couldn't go outside. It was either you go high or you go low. And he chose high, beat Cook up top.
Great overhand shot by Mike Hayden right there. That goal is huge. They finally got the lead you were talking about before where we were in a stalemate with the two teams. Both were playing great defense. We finally get an offensive possession that converts and gets a goal.
Well, the other thing is he's kept the same plane of the shot. He went high to high, as opposed to going to high to low and bouncing it, or low to high on a sidearm shot.
Which is easier to say, but if the defender, is screening you as the goalie, it's harder to save almost.
As a shot goes up high from, I believe, Wilfong along the near side. It's backed up by Lynchburg. After their face-off win, they control. 6:10 to go in the fourth. Roanoke up by 1. Number 6, Lynchburg. Number 13, Roanoke. These two teams picked as the top two in the ODAC this season. As an outside shot, that one hit a body in front. Goes out of bounds along the far side. Wilfong pulling the trigger. As the Hornets operate from the right side, as Rittenhouse will go out to the top. Ben Sauer cuts in along the near side. Rolls back. It's Vimard with a shot. He scores. A bullet beat Peace right past his stick. And who would have guessed it? We're tied again. This time at 12, 5:49 to go in the fourth, as the two heavyweights just keep trading blows.
Lynchburg has been doing great this season with their only loss against Salisbury, 16-7 in their second game of the season. So they're doing something right, and it's almost a stalemate with these two teams because they're both playing great lacrosse. They both are doing the right things. Let's just see which one is doing the better things.
Wouldn't be surprised to see these two teams playing on May 6th. As the face-off won by Connor Dubois. Geary comes up with the ground ball to bail him out.
Well, the way they're playing, they deserve to play each other in that game.
Oh, absolutely. And the way this game's going, it would be a heck of a game. As most meetings between Roanoke and Lynchburg are, these two teams played within 2 goals of each other in the last ODAC championship. As Smith starts with it behind the net. Has a step on his man, dodges up from their far side. Shot off the side of the net. That's the way this game's going. That might have blown the roof off of Kerr Stadium. As Lackland fighting for the ground ball after Lynchburg having some trouble with the clear. Hayden back after, took a big hack at his stick. He split his in 2. He's got to get off. Roanoke's going to need a midi as Lynchburg carries ahead. Ben Wright gives it up. Now gets it back. Right from the right side. A spinorama move with a long stick. Fed down low. The shot ripped up high. Paul for the hat trick today. Tried it again from the right side, and he sent it up top on Peace. It's quite the spinorama move, though, by the long stick along the wing. Lynchburg starts with it from the near corner. Tied at 12, under 5 minutes to play. Clock at 4:50. Ora moving behind the net, covered by Packer. The Maroons switch on. Free. Vumar with a shot. He got absolutely pummeled on the play. It was a clean hit. No flag comes in as Geary comes to the near side and he gives it up for DeLong. DeLong's pass, though, stripped. Peace has to get back in net. Peace out on defense. Empty net for Roanoke. Peace is going to try his hand at goalie. Rather, Paco. Now Lynchburg cutting on in. No lane. Behind the net, fed out towards the outside. Comes from Humard at the top. Face dodges. Left-handed shot. He bounced it up over the net. My, oh, my.
A lot of crazy events, Nick. And we talked about hitting the shooter as a defensive player right before the shot. You saw it right there. It does work.
Ingold, the helmet straight into the chest. Took him down. Roanoke, though, failed on the clear. Lynchburg back with their offensive possession. An outside shot. Save made by Peace as he sent that one wide. The net pulling the trigger was Wilfong. He has 2 today. Clock down to 4:05. Score still tied at 12. Oram comes up the near side, fakes the pass. Now sends it off for Ben Sauer. Out to the top for Max Vimard. Vimard drives it on the right side. Protects the stick with a shot. Sent it wide.
Couple quick shots by Lynchburg right there. Charles Peace has been able to keep it under control, though, and get these saves.
As off the restart, it comes for Pat Oram on the near wing. Oram out to the top. As Rudnhouse drives it on the right side on Bracken, who gives him a bump. Rudnhouse puts the brakes on. Left hand, tries to get free in front. Protects the stick. Sent it wide of the net, but 3 flags come in. I believe this is going to be a hold unless Doobie caught him up high. Slashing against Doobie, 1 minute. Lynchburg 3 for 6 on their extra man opportunities in the contest.
This may be the possession that determines the game, Nick. With only, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Time winding down. The Hornets will start with it from the far side. McNeely out on the near side. He'll face guard Vumard, who brings himself towards the alley. We'll see if he stays in the play or retreats. As Lynchburg feeds to the right side, now back out to the top. To the near side for Ben Sauer. Fakes to Vumard. Defender goes down. They try a hidden ball trick. Comes towards the right side. Skip pass to the top. A shot sent wide of the net. Roanoke got a stick on it. Wilfong. As now that pass goes over everyone up towards the sub box. It'll make its way out of bounds. Possession back to Roanoke. The Maroons a chance to kill. 3:06 to go. I'm not sure I've seen a game tied this late since Stevenson last year. One of the best games I've ever watched in my life. As Roanoke advanced to the NCAA semifinals. They'll send it for Geary on the back end. Geary ahead for Dubois. Takes the pass out of the air. Dubois moving down the left wing. Puts the brakes on. Moves towards the middle. Now stops. Goes back down the outside. Lynchburg not doubling the ball, though they're a man up. They have an extra defender in front. Dubois sits with it. Sends it to the outside. The Hornets just letting someone loom in front. One of their defenders to make sure Roanoke doesn't get a shorthanded chance. They'd rather take him 6-on-6. Time winding down as Hayden moves towards the near side. Now back down behind. Calls from the sideline to just hold. And they do. Penalty house release. Back to even strength as Roanoke kills off Doobie's slashing call. Clock at 2:25. Hayden from the near corner where he started most of the night.
Not a bad decision by Lynchburg defense to not double the ball. As we saw, Roanoke was doubled the ball against Worcester, and then Worcester ended up scoring.
And it bit them. As Hayden comes up the near side, defender goes down. Hayden feeds it out towards the top for Dubois. Back along for Smith. Smith drives to the middle. To the near side, it's Dubois. Steps in, fakes the shot, looks for a lane. Doesn't have one. Fakes through the middle. Still nothing. Goes behind the net for Joey Coretti. Under 2 minutes to go. 1:55 left in the game. Score tied at 12. Number 6, Lynchburg. Number 13, Roanoke. Stalling call comes in for Roanoke. Get it in, keep it in. With this pace, just keep it in. Curdy to the front with a shot. He sent it wide. He backed up on the play by Mike Hayden. Possession will stay with the Maroons. Once they get it in, they do still have to keep it in. To the final 100 seconds. As a whistle and a timeout on the field taken by Coach Pilot. The coaching staff going to go back to the drawing board, X's and O's, and try and work it out. TJ and I will step aside. We'll be back. 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter. 12-12 the score. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN in Virginia, 1240 AM.
Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem. Be sure to catch Roanoke College Sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. 100 seconds to go in this one. Top ODAC matchup between Roanoke and Lynchburg. CJ, lacrosse has a lot of comparisons made to it. Some have called it football with a stick. You can call it ice hockey on turf. In a way, it's almost basketball with the X's and O's. And you can look at it, too, in the sense that if you're Pilot, who do you have taking the last shot? Do you have a play that you go to? What are your thoughts?
It's really difficult. I mean, they've had a couple plays work for them, like the hidden ball trick. That's worked for them in the past. But they have a great offensive line, and they can really give it to anyone, and you can trust anyone with that shot and get that.
Goal scoring today for the Maroons, Coretti with 3, Lachlan and Geary, oddly enough, each with 2. 1 goal for Mayberry, Parsons, and Nislik. Parsons scoring for the first time since the semifinals. Nislik for the first time in over a year. Lynchburg in their road blacks. Roanoke in their home whites. Another question. Do you go right for the goal? With 100 seconds to go, do you go for the goal, run your play?
No, it's just like basketball. You want to hold it. You want to have the last shot. It is very similar to basketball. That's one reason. Another reason is the rotations with the offense. They have the 3 middies, the 3 attackmen rotating constantly with the offense.
And the rotations and the openings will take some time to develop.
But me being a little biased, I would probably give it to an attackman to take it since I play attack.
Reed Mayberry is into the game for the Maroons. As now the officials are going to talk things over. Rich Lachlan not in the game at the moment for the Maroons. Mayberry taking his spot on attack. The top midfield unit is out for Roanoke. It's Dubois, Smith, and Mike Hayden. On attack, Keating, Mayberry, and Coretti. As it looks like the officials going through to count the timeouts. The officials seem to have things sorted out. Roanoke out-shooting Lynchburg 46-45. Nine saves for Frank Cook, 13 for the Maroons.
Even though, in my opinion, I feel like the Roanoke Maroons should slow it down a little bit, I feel like they're going to go right for the goal here.
Hayden brings it in from behind. Stalling call on. Roanoke still has to keep it in. Hayden behind the net. Comes to the near side for Dubois in the near corner of the box. He had trouble with the pass. Now Dubois up with it. This has the defense out of order. He'll slow things over.
And it looks like they will hold it.
Smith behind the net.
They will hold it behind X for a little bit here, for as long as possible.
I mean, Stalling calls on.
That's true. They have to keep it in the box, but they can just hold it back at X.
Smith came up the near side.
They can run out a lot of this time.
1:07 to go. Smith up the far side. Tries to back his man down. Draws a quick slide. Sends it up the wing. Second there by Keating, along for Connor Dubois. Dubois races down the left wing. Under a minute to go. Down to the final 55 seconds. Dubois behind the net. Has 2 men there with him as they don't clear out. Coretti wants to get over and set a pick, but he's ridden away. Dubois sits with it there. Stutters, now races towards the far side. Dubois stops behind the net. Kicks it out for Jeff Keating. To the top for Kyle Smith. He stepped out of the box. Smith stepped out by a foot. Possession now will go back to Lynchburg.
Just a little
30 seconds to
disoriented
go.
where the line was exactly. He knew he had to keep it in. Just a rough mistake.
Lynchburg working the clear. 20 seconds left. The Hornets across midfield as Smith now takes a slip. Wilfong moving in. He's got 2 goals today. Wilfong rolls back on his right hand, checked at by Doobie. Down to 10 seconds to go. We have a whistle now and a timeout taken by Lynchburg. We'll stay with you here at Kerr Stadium. 10.5 seconds left in this one. Taking a look back at the stats so far. Through 49 minutes and 50 seconds. Score tied at 12. 8 of Roanoke's goals have assists. Only half of Lynchburg's goals do. The Hornets are 3 for 7 on the man up, while Roanoke just 2 for 6. Not a bad percentage, but compared to Lynchburg, not really on the same plane. As Roanoke, though, has taken a lot more penalties. Roanoke has had a lot of personal fouls called against them. 6 personals, only 1 technical against the Maroons. While 4 of the penalties to Lynchburg were personals, only 2 were technicals. Shots on goal, 25-21. As the crowd here at Kerr Stadium rises to their feet.
Regardless of Roanoke's efforts, Lynchburg will have the final play of the game here, or the fourth quarter, excuse me. If Roanoke can hold them, we will go to overtime.
Overtime is a 15-minute sudden death period. Defense out for Roanoke. Peace is in goal. Paco, Geary, DeLong are the long sticks. McNeely, Ingold, and Doobie. The defensive midfield for the Maroons. It could all come down to this possession. Past 9 o'clock here in the East. Clock sits at 10.5 seconds. Lynchburg will start from the far alley. It's Andrew Wilfong with it. Eric DeLong is on him. Roanoke in a lockdown defense. Wilfong starts at the top. DeLong drives him out. DeLong continues to hold. A left-handed shot goes wide of the net with 3 seconds down 2. As that one trickles out behind the net. 1.6 left on the clock. Lynchburg's going to have to just throw it to the front and try and quick stick it home. From behind the net, it's Oren. Whips it out, unable to handle the pass. Was Wilfong. 60 minutes, not enough. We're headed to overtime here at Kerr Stadium. TJ and I will step aside, be back with the statistics through 60 minutes, and be back with the start of the extra frame. It's Roanoke and Lynchburg headed to OT. You're listening to Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Be sure to catch Roanoke College sports on Valley Vision TV, Comcast Channel 7 in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Lexington, and Blacksburg. Brought to you by Mac and Bob's, Main Street, Salem. For programming information or schedules, go to valleyvisiontv.com. Don't settle for bar food at a sports bar. Watch the game on a big screen and eat great food at a sports cafe. All Sports Cafe with 30 screens of sports and the best food around. Say no to bar food and yes to great food at All Sports Cafe in Roanoke and Salem.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. We get set for the start of overtime. 60 minutes was not enough, and Roanoke is playing their first overtime game since last March, back on March 26th of 2011. Making over the 12-11 OT win over Randolph-Macon. That game played up in Ashland. Clock set till 4 minutes. We'll do as many 4-minute frames as we need to get a victor. Here on a beautiful Saturday night. Happy St. Patrick's Day, TJ.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
My birthday is tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you. Not yet. Close.
We're getting there.
Nick, everything's going to change in the sudden death overtime. Face-offs will be even more important. Possession is key. You need to get those first couple shots on goals. Hopefully, you only need one shot on goal really early in the overtime.
Roanoke has had trouble controlling the face-off today. That's why this scenario does not bode well for them. Jernak and Dubois are down on the draw. Jernak popped the head, stuck in the back of his stick. The officials called it legal. Bracken in after it. Dubois bumped down from behind. The officials call no foul. Up with it is Lansing. He dishes it off on the right side. Lynchburg controls it. Fed out in front for Vumard. He was unable to get a stick on that. Bracken up with the ground ball. Then he lost it. It's kicked free. Roanoke back after it. Now it's Connor Dubois. Dubois looks, goes all the way across for Worsina, who's unable to come up with it. Now has it on second effort. But not Rusina, Panacost. Stick back up with it. And Dubois comes up with possession. He emerges from the pile, flips it for Drew Bracken, who takes it on a hop. Bracken into the box and has a touch. 3:20 to go in the first overtime period. Score tied at 12. Nick DeSanctis with TJ Kemper at Kerr Stadium in Salem.
I think there's been a lot of ground balls, a lot of man balls early in this overtime.
It's from the outside. Smith with a shot. He sent it wide.
My heart skipped a beat there.
Skipped a beat, did it?
Skipped a beat, yes.
After your Lucky Charms, too?
I am Irish.
Couldn't have guessed. 3:10 to go in the fourth. As Lachlan back out. Lachlan Keating on attack. Parsons, Bracken, and Hayden, the midfield unit, out for the Maroons. Lachlan has 2 goals today. Attacking the end with a Canadian flag. It'd only be fitting if he could bury a game winner here. Roanoke goes behind the net for Joey Coretti. Gets a pick from Keating. Moves up towards the far side. He's out to the top. Taken on the bounce by Spencer Parsons. Roanoke operating in a 1-for-1 as Parsons breaks to the right side. Defender lost a stick. Parsons tries to cut in. Gets nowhere. Goes for Keating. Fed out in front for Lachlan. He's tied up and dumped. Ball comes all the way out to midfield. Hayden able to keep it on his half. Hayden breaks in from the near side. Tries to get a step. Hayden moving to the front with a shot. He sent it just wide. Took the one-handed shot. Keating bumps his man. Lynchburg still with possession. It's Ben Wright who gives it up behind the goal for Frank Cook.
Roanoke's effective ride has to come into play here. They cannot let Lynchburg get another offense possession.
As Cook in the middle. 2:25 to go in the overtime period. Right side, it's Lombardo. Back in the middle for Cook to the near wing. John Gill. Gill approaching midfield. Bracken lost his man as it comes ahead now for Liskey. Liskey puts the brakes on, cuts to the middle, long stick, outside shot. He sent it wide of the net. Lynchburg able to back it up. As Oram behind the net on the outside, covered by Paco, sends it up the wing. Under 2 minutes to go in overtime. Next goal wins. Score currently tied at 12. As the middies will clear out. Vumard with it. Has 2 goals tonight, covered by Parsons. Breaks it on the right side, now stops. Vumard goes deep with it. Gives it up now behind the net. To the near side it comes for Ben Sauer. Sauer up the near wing for Matt Manzo. As he moves down the near side of the restraining line. He's covered by Doobie. Manzo tries to come towards the inside. Unable to get a step on Doobie. Whips it out to the top. Taken there by Ruddenhouse. 1:25 to go. Ruddenhouse cuts in, stops, turns on his left hand, gives it back out towards the top for Matt Manzo. Manzo to the near side. Vumard tries to get his hands free with a shot. He scores. Through traffic, beat piece, bottom left. And the Hornets have escaped with an overtime thriller here in Salem. They defeat Roanoke 13-12 in overtime.
First win for the Hornets, in 6 games against Roanoke.
This is the first time this senior class has ever beaten the Maroons. Roanoke with upset on their minds, unable to finish.
And Hornets will go 6-0 in the last 6 games they played.
Lynchburg improves to 7-1 this season as Roanoke falls to 4-3. This is the first ODAC game of the season for both teams as Lynchburg starts out on top 1-0. Rather 1-0.
If they meet again in ODAC, it's going to be a great game.
I imagine these two teams would probably face each other. The ODAC is good, like it always is. The Hampton Cities, the WNLs, have worked their magic before. And we'll see what happens. TJ and I will step aside. We'll be back with the final stats and our thoughts. We'll reflect back on the keys to the game and see how they played in. And also stay with us coming up. We'll chat with Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot. Get his thoughts on tonight's contest. Really a tough loss for his team to take. Going up against a higher-ranked team, a rival home game under the lights with a packed crowd. And just falling short. Peace looked like he almost got a stick on that one. Just a split second behind as Lynchburg takes this one 13-12. We'll be back after this. This is Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio.
Roanoke College. Timeless and true. Smart and solid. Practical and professional. Making discoveries about yesterday. Creating visions for tomorrow. Lifted by a winning college spirit. Forging lifetime friendships with professors who prepare you for a place at the head of an operating table or another bright future. Roanoke College. Classic for tomorrow.
All Sports Cafe. Amazing food and your games in high definition. Bring your maroon card and your friends and enjoy Salem's best wings, succulent ribs, our signature sandwiches, wraps, and burgers, fresh salads, pizza, and more. Stuck on campus but still want great food? We deliver. Check out our menu online at allsportscafe.net. We can even cater your next event. Try us once and you'll love it. All Sports Cafe, conveniently located just off campus on Main Street.
Welcome back to Kerr Stadium in Salem as Roanoke swallows a heartbreaker on this one, 13-12. The overtime final. Lynchburg getting the game winner late in the first overtime period. Goal scoring for Lynchburg College, Max Vimard and Dylan Hoff, each with 3. Vimard letting the game winner, Oram Wilfong, each with 2, while Lotz, Litsky, and Galvin each finished the game with 1. Pat Oram led his team with 2 assists. Goal scoring for the Maroons, Lackland and Coretti each finished with 3, while Braden Geary tallied twice. We'll talk about him a little bit. The long stick defender really advancing in the rush. Geary came in here as a short stick. They put a long stick in his hand because he was so athletic, and it really paid off well for the Maroons, not only on the offensive end, but defensively as well, as Geary, a very strong defender. Mike Hayden, Brendan Nisley, and Spencer Parsons, along with Reed Mayberry, each tallying a goal, while Keating held goalless for the second time this season. He was held scoreless in the Salisbury game earlier on this campaign, and that was the first time that had happened in well over a year. Keating has 2 assists. Bracken, Coretti, Dubois, Hayden, Lachlan, and McNeely dished out a helper as well. The two teams tied in shots, each with 48. Lynchburg won the ground ball battle 49-40. They also took 18 of the 28 faceoffs. Roanoke only won 10. Lynchburg, though, failed on 6 clears, 20 of 26. The Maroons only failed on 1, 21 of 22. Both teams missed 4 man-up opportunities as the Hornets went 3 for 7. Roanoke 2 for 6. Maroons took 7 penalties for 6.5 minutes. Lynchburg took 6 for 5 minutes. In goal for the Maroons, Charlie Peace played the bulk of the time. He allowed 11 goals, made 6 saves. He relieved Mike Hardon. The two traded a little bit early in the game before Peace was given the reins. Hardon allowed 2 goals and made 7 saves. In goal for Lynchburg, Frank Cook, 12 goals and 9 saves. TJ, looking back at our keys to the game, one of them was face-offs. Face-offs, ground balls, and goaltenders. And we had said at the start, if a team can win those, they will win the game.
Well, that's true. Lynchburg did win the game, and they won the face-offs, but
they also won the ground ball battle.
It is huge. You know, possessions, just in general. If you have the ball and you could just take time away from the clock and just not let the other team get the ball, you get a couple shots on goals that could come up with some goals, some points on the board. and that prevents the other team from scoring at all. That's one of the most important statistics out there, I think, face-offs and ground balls. You could attribute the loss to pretty much anything, but you could also look at penalties, too. It was a high-heated game. The intensity was huge, and Lynchburg was 3 for 7. Roanoke was 2 for 6. So right there, if you have a couple less penalties, maybe Lynchburg doesn't score that goal. There's a lot of what-ifs in this game. But overall, the statistics, they are you can't really tell. If I didn't have a scoreboard, you couldn't really tell who won the game because it was so close. Both teams deserved to win. They played really well. They did better in certain areas, each team, but you cannot tell who won the game by these stats without the scoreboard.
The only one that I see that I can make a note of is the face-offs. That was the only one in-game where you could really just remember that Lynchburg had won more than Roanoke. The shots, I mean, I can't keep track of almost 50 shots, but it was so balanced. Everything in the game was balanced except for the face-off numbers.
I mean, yeah, the face-offs are huge, but Roanoke did start well in other activities too. Their clears, I mean, they were 21 for 22 in clears. That's huge. The ride of Roanoke created 6 turnovers in transition for Lynchburg. Also, the turnovers, we had 6 less turnovers than Lynchburg did, with Lynchburg at 22 and Roanoke at 16, and we had more saves during the game.
It's hard to tell what goalie really played better because it seemed like Peace and Hardon both came up with some saves they had no business making. Cook he got credited for a save that hit him right in the noggin. He took it off the helmet. That's credit for a save. And coaches always tell you to use your head. He did just that.
Well, I mean, technically it is a save. He took one for the team right to the face.
Oh, absolutely. You got to do what you got to do to get the win. Mike Hayden, led the Maroons with a team high 7 shots, 12 shots for Will Fong in the game. He was followed by Pat Oram and Max Sumard each with 8. That's 28 of his team's 48 shots between those 3. And Vimard, the midi, came in off the bench. As I mentioned, Peace with 6 saves. Hardon with 7 in his 20 minutes. We're going to take another break. One final time. Wait for head coach Bill Pilot. He'll make his way up. We'll ask him about his thoughts on the game tonight. Kind of look ahead to what's coming up in his schedule for practice. And really curious to see how he thought. When I met with him yesterday, he had said the keys for him, just so happen to be the keys for us, were ground balls, face-offs, and goalies. His team won 2 of the 3. We'll see how he feels they played. We'll step aside. This is Roanoke College Lacrosse on ESPN Radio. We'll be right back with head coach Bill Pilot. He's still on the sidelines, so probably start with 3 minutes and we can go from there. Does that work? Okay. That works too. What do you have coming on after this? Because I can just kind of throw it to that. March Madness. Any particular game? Okay. That would kind of make sense, but that's all right. I'm the only one who knows. That's probably not a good sign. Welcome back to Kerr Stadium. I'm joined now by Roanoke head coach Bill Pilot. Coach, your team upset on their mind. Your team ranked number 13 in the country. Lynchburg ranked at number 6, the top two teams in the ODAC according to the preseason poll, and this one went to overtime. Was this the kind of game you were expecting coming in? Did you think it was just going to end on a single goal?
I knew it would be a tough game. You know, they're a good team, and they've got 18 seniors or so, and they're a veteran ball club, and I knew it would be a good game. I didn't know if overtime was necessarily in the cards, but I knew it could be a tight, one-goal game like it was. I think both teams played well, and both teams played hard, and I told Coach Kudelka after that was just a great game that you'd be part of, win or lose. And unfortunately, we came out on the losing end, but both teams really played hard and clean, and it was great to be part of. Great experience, great event.
When I talked to you yesterday, you had said that the keys are going to be ground balls, face-offs, and goaltenders. Looking at the stats, Lynchburg took the ground ball battle. They took the face-off battle. Your team won the goaltenders battle. Well, yeah, they won 2 out of 3, so I guess that's a one-goal win right there. Everything was close. All the numbers were close all the way around, and they have, a good veteran face-off guy, and we got a freshman going out there, so we're getting better and better, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I thought our 2 goalies played great, and they have an All-American goalie in the net, and he played a good game too, so, I can't really complain anything there. What was your philosophy using Hardon and Peace today? We saw Hardon get the start, and next time we turned around, Peace is in, turned around again, and Hardon's back in. Well, we got 2 good goalies, and one's a big lefty and one's a righty, so you can screw up the shooters. I thought we hurt their shooters a little bit in that, and we want to give both guys a chance because both are playing so hard, and so I don't know what the future holds for them because we got 2 great goalies, and we got 3 with Gil Long too. So we'll just keep working hard in practice and do what's best to help the team. On the ride, your team had a lot of success. You guys only failed on 1 clear, but Lynchburg failed on 6, and they turned the ball over 22 times, opposed to your team only turned it over 16. Have you guys been doing something different on the ride? Have you switched something up, or is this just teams are kind of just starting to hiccup? Well, we take a lot of pride in the ride and game, and, we've been working on it pretty hard, so I thought we did a pretty good job. We gave up a goal on a ride, which is really disappointing. We should not have given up that goal. That was a breakdown on defense that we got to work on. But overall, the ride is good, and just it takes a lot of hustle and just knowledge of the full field game, and I thought they did a good job there. Lynchburg capitalized on 3 of their 7 man-up opportunities, while your team was 2 for 6. Both failed on 4. Roanoke took 7 penalties for 6.5 minutes. Do you think in a game like this, with the intensity and the attitudes and the rivalry, that's too many? It's hard to say. A lot of checks. I thought every call was pretty good. I thought they could have let a few go both ways, but they did a good job officiating. And you're always going to have those calls when guys are playing hard like this. I figured there'll be 5-4 in penalties or something like that. So 7-6, not out of the ordinary. Now we saw Braden Geary get on the score sheet twice today with a long stick. Converted midfielder to defense last year, missed most of last season. Came back out this year, is having a great season, playing I guess the number 2, maybe slipping down to number 3, depending on the day of the week. What do you think about Geary as you were using him at long stick midi later on in the game? Well, his stick handling is great. He should go to the goal even more. We keep telling him that. He's really unselfish, but he's a great stick handler. He has the green light to do that anytime. I'm glad he finally did it. And a lot of teams won't cover the long stick. like they have number 6. Lasicki was really good, and he took a few shots too. And I think he might have scored one, but he can torque up some shots, and you got to watch out for him. So some of these D-men with these good sticks are very dangerous, and Geary's definitely in that mold. We saw Dickinson's long stick last Sunday, tally 2 goals against your team. So long stick middies obviously having an effect here down the stretch. Now, Lachlan and Coretti each finished with 3 goals. Keating was held off the score sheet. He's an All-American. He needs a score. That hurts us. If he doesn't score, that obviously hurts us. So that's something we got to work on. He's got to work on. And obviously team's key for him, but him not scoring hurts our team. All things considered, how would you sum up the way your team played? Are you pleased with tonight's performance? Do you think there's a lot that needs to be worked on before your next contest? I'm pleased with the performance. I'm pleased with the effort. A very strong effort. That was a tough game. A lot of running, guys going really hard. We played fairly smart for most of the time, I would say, but we made a few mistakes, and they capitalized on them. Real disappointed a couple ground balls. They scored a bunch of goals that were just garbage goals, junky goals, where we couldn't pick the ball up, and then they pick it up and throw it in. That's an unearned goal. I mean, yes, you're working hard to pick the ball up, but we got to pick that thing up, So we gave up at least 2 that I can remember of that. And then we gave up one on that ride I thought was pretty bad that we haven't given up one like that all year, so I want to see who missed the slide and who didn't do what they were supposed to do. But I'm very pleased with the effort, both teams. And, we're a good team. They're number 6. They're 6-1. Congratulations. They beat us for the first time in 4 years. Congratulations. But we're a heck of a team, and we're getting better every day, so we're not going anywhere. Wouldn't be surprised to see you and Coach Kudelka shaking hands after a game coming up. I believe May 6th, the ODAC championship is scheduled for this season.
Yeah, it'll be a heck of a game. We got a lot of work to do. There's other good teams out there. We got to work hard with Hampton-Sydney and Washington Lee and every team in the ODAC. But I thought this was a heck of a game. Both teams, great event to be part of, and great for school spirit. We had a lot of students out here. I thought school spirit was tremendous. We really appreciate that. And, we want to keep playing hard and give these guys a good show.
Now, you guys have a week off before next Saturday you travel over up 460 to take on Hampton-Sydney, who's received votes in the poll all season long. What are you going to spend your practice days this week trying to focus in on?
Still just learning our system and working on making good decisions. And, we're going to watch the film and see what we need to work on there. But I was really pleased with the intense effort we put out today. If we can bring that intense effort and hustle on ground balls, I think we could be a dangerous team down the stretch. And we just still got to keep working on playing good one-on-one defense and, knowing the scouting report. I thought a couple times we let down a little bit. We told them the scout. We told them what guys would do, and they did exactly what we said. And yet we still didn't stop it a few times. That's unacceptable, too, so we got to work on that.
All right, Pilot, thanks so much for coming up. We really appreciate it.
All right, Nick,
Best
thanks.
of luck next week at Hampton-Sydney. Thanks so much. To our sports information director at Roanoke College, Brad Moore. Thanks to Ashley in the ESPN radio studio. Reed Hall, our technical director, here in the press box. For TJ Kemper, I'm Nick DeSanctis, saying good night from Salem.